rebirth as an independent state at the end of World War I. Police saying about 200,000 marchers were on hand. Well, there's some better news for pro football.
The Wall Street Journal, citing data from Nielsen, reports that so far this season, the average TV audience for pro football games has jumped 3% to 15.6 million compared to a year ago, amid what some analysts say is the excitement surrounding top teams and high-scoring games, but also the dwindling storyline of player protests of the national anthem, though ratings are still a far cry from where they once were and still include the optics of NFL stadiums with many empty seats. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Valuable species of shellfish now a bit harder to find on the East Coast because of degraded habitat caused by a warming environment. That's the conclusion from a pair of scientists studying a drop in harvests of 4 types of shellfish in coastal areas from Maine to North Carolina. I'm Paul Stevens. This is Fox News.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho, ho, ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tadigui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan, protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Konnichiwa! We'll be celebrating the 39th Japan Autumn Festival on Saturday, November 17th, 2 to 9 p.m. at the Governor Joseph Flores Beach Park or Ipao Park in Tumon. Parking will be available across Oka Payless with free shuttle service starting at 1:30 p.m. Advance tickets available now at the Japan Club of Guam office located on the first floor of PM Marine. Once again, the Japan Autumn Festival at Ipao Beach Park, November 17th from 2 to 9. Come join us. For information, call 646-8066. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Bank of Guam, and the radio stations of Choice Broadcasting.
Your first look at 93.3 The Point News is brought to you by Guam Hearing Doctors. Call the experts at Guam Hearing Doctors if you're worried about your hearing. The evaluation is simple and painless.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 2 pedestrians were killed within hours of each other in separate accidents on Guam's roadways Saturday night. The first fatality occurred in Anigua in front of the district court building. 52-year-old Enrina Esifong was walking with her son and 2 teenage grandchildren just after sundown Saturday when she was struck. Esifong was rushed to Naval Hospital. CPR conducted en route. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapao reports that the woman driving the black Honda Pilot SUV that hit Esifong was interviewed by police, but she was not considered a suspect. Sergeant Tapao said that the investigation continues. Speed, alcohol, road conditions, and poor street lighting in the area are among the factors being looked at. Less than 3 hours later, another pedestrian was fatally struck by a vehicle on Marine Corps Drive in Jigo. Sergeant Tapau reports that in that case, a man was struck as he was trying to cross the street in front of the Gigo Payless, crossing towards Chalandone, when a gray Nissan Sentra traveling southbound in the outer lane hit him. He was taken to GRMC, where he was pronounced dead at 10:24 p.m. He has not been identified. Saturday's road fatalities raised the number of auto pedestrian deaths on Guam's roadways this year to 12. The former mayor of Jonia and a candidate for senator in this past election, Ken Joe Addo, was arrested Saturday night on an allegation of terrorizing. The details of the charge against him have not yet been revealed. When Addo ran for senator, he described himself as an adjunct professor of public administration at the University of Guam. 35-year-old former mayor has said in a previous interview with the Guam Daily Post that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and has said he noticed the signs of PTSD after serving as a merchant mariner in 2006. He declined to go into details about what happened to him at that time due to a non-disclosure agreement with his former employer. We'll have more news after this.
The problem isn't just not being able to hear or understand, or having to tell people to speak louder. Sometimes the frustration is having to repeat yourself too many times, or speaking so loud you're almost shouting. At Guam Hearing Doctors, we understand that hearing problems affect both sides. One of our goals is to help your hearing for those around you. Call us at 989-TEST to learn more.
Circle K now offers Pop's Bake Shop products. Cream cheese rolls, malasadas, delicious donuts, and more. Come see why Pop's Bakery is a Southern gem. Circle K, take it easy. Circle K now offers Bento Chef Sushi. Enjoy a selection of sushi, maki, and musubi made fresh every day. Circle K, take it easy.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 6 a.m. The Department of Rev and Tax is seeking further clarification from the Office of the Attorney General on the property tax increase in the 2019 budget law. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson has already issued an opinion concluding that the property tax increase provision of the 2019 budget law must be imposed immediately. Rev and Tax initially intended to wait until next year before implementing it because the law does not say what date the tax increase should take effect. Barrett Anderson advised that there should be no delay. Rev and Tax Director John Camacho said the issue now is over a missing word in the law. The apparent intention of the legislature was to impose the property tax increase on homes and businesses valued at $1 million or more. However, the law does not include the word more. It merely states $1 million. Camacho said his concern is that taxpayers might contest the tax if it's imposed on properties that have a value of more than $1 million. He said they've asked the AG to clarify which properties the tax increase would apply to, and he says he fully intends to comply with the property tax increase and collect it this fiscal year, and they'll be issuing a revised tax roll reflecting that increase soon. 22-year-old Diliana Judine Tuncap has been crowned Miss International Oceania 2018. Tuncap, who is from Tamuting, is the first woman from Guam to win the regional title. She received the award during a pageant finals held in Tokyo on November 9th. Tuncap competed against 76 other young women representing nations around the world. The award is given to one delegate from each 5-continent or region, which are Asia, America, Europe, Africa, and Oceania. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Yeah, let's see what we got for you on a Monday morning. Mostly sunny skies with a slight chance of showers. East winds up to about 15 miles an hour today. Highs 90 degrees and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. Sunset tonight. Early, 5:51, and sunrise this morning at 6:18. Now, is it my understanding that it's not going to get any earlier than 5:51 on the sunset, right?
I'll have to check that. It may not. It might just, but only slightly earlier. Yeah. I'll have to check that.
All right, because I read somewhere that yesterday was the earliest sunset that we're going to have all year. and I missed it because I was watching Deadwood on Hulu.
Well, it'll be about the same for a while.
Okay,
For
so
several
it's not
weeks,
like it's not like I missed a 551, right? So anyway, so you got that going for us. I got the radar screen up here. Is there anything that you think people need to know about? I mean, it looks broken. There's nothing there.
Yeah, not for today or tomorrow. We're still in pretty much a dry season pattern that has set in for the weekend and going into the early part of this week. We do have tropical disturbance. It's a weak one, 98C. The C stands for Central Pacific, and we'll have to go over to the right to see that one. And whenever they get designated in the Central Pacific, if they make it over the international, then you can barely see it flaring up there on the far right-hand side.
I thought they weren't looking at that anymore.
They're just keeping an eye on it. Actually, the chances of it developing, they issued a tropical cyclone formation alert on Friday, and then they backed off of that on Saturday and Sunday. The upper level conditions are just not favorable right now for any sort of real development. That system's actually supposed to track 2 hours south, may bring us a chance of rain towards the end part of the week, but still not definite. Not expecting any sort of real formation from it, but we'll keep an eye on things because it can change quickly out there.
Got it. 6:14, that's News and Weather Day. Brought to you by our friends over at Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
6:15 in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show, also brought to you by King's Restaurant. Great daily lunch specials every day of the week and every weekday. And today it's Salisbury steak. That's all you got to try to remember. Monday is Salisbury steak. Give you a reason to get up and move it around on what is, what do they say? It's Veterans Day, parentheses, observed, close parentheses. So have your lunch, parentheses, at King's today, close parentheses.
Super Typhoon U2 spared us here on Guam, but the same cannot be said for our neighboring islands. From now till November 16th, join us as we help Saipan and Tinian to get back on their feet. Acceptable donations include batteries, flashlights, tools, cleaning supplies, mosquito coils, rope, toiletries, personal hygiene items, and others. Donations can be dropped off to all GTA stores, the Guam Daily Post, all Guam Fire Department stations, and the Santa Teresita Catholic Church. For more information on how you can help, visit postguam.com.
Portions of the show also brought to you by my friends over at American President Lines, where they're shipping the future. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City got their reaccreditation over the weekend. I don't know if you saw that, but big news out there as well. First choice for all of your open heart surgery needs, and Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Sorry, normally I'd have already started talking by now. You get into this point in the music, but I was I was making a couple of notes here to a friend. I got this as I think more and more people are beginning to do these days. Get personal security systems at the house. It's not like I'm the bank or the grocery store or anything like that. I just want to make sure that when I'm away from the house, there's some kind of technology that is watching over the doors and the windows and all of that stuff. And over the weekend, I had another component added to the security system at the house. It's the anti-Osama bin Laden motion detector. And the way motion detectors work is if you got two stages in your alarm system. You have the stay. Right, so I'm going to sleep. You want to have the system on so that if somebody breaks in the middle of the night, there's an alarm and you can wake up and grab your pistola and dispatch them.
Right.
Or and then there is the away. Right, so that if somebody breaks in or finds a way into the house, one way or the other, and they're caught moving around, you've got this motion detector that will get them. Anyway, so when it was installed, the motion detector was set so that it would go on even while I was home staying. So it's 4 o'clock in the morning. The alarm goes. My bedside alarm rings. Okay, it's time to wake up. I start walking towards the kitchen to make the coffee, and the motion alarm catches me.
Nice. That's very good.
That's a hell of a way to wake up. I was standing right next to the alarm, and it was blaring. So, wow, hello, I guess that works. What's 4 o'clock? I can't remember my password. I don't know my name. Well, I don't know what the password is to close the system.
See, good money spent on that security system, and it would have been cheaper just to get a dog.
No, there's nothing cheaper than that. Anybody that owns a dog knows, and you've got the attack cat over at your place. Right?
Oh, yeah.
What's that costing you in kitty litter?
It's about to cost me a lot more. She went into heat this weekend. So I already made that appointment.
Yep. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name would be Ray Gibson. Nice to have you along here on a Veterans Day observed morning. And I hope you had an opportunity in the last few days to celebrate and honor a veteran. Living great. Maybe somebody that's already passed on to their great and ultimate reward. Maybe you thought about them and gave them a little bit of a mental tribute. I was looking for, and I couldn't find it in my stash of pictures yesterday. Shelley's probably got it around here somewhere, no doubt. But a picture of my father when he was in the Navy. And there's a couple of things I like about the picture of my old man when he was in the Navy, 19, 20 years old, something like that. And you can take that picture of him, 19 and 20 years old, and stack it next to a picture of me at the same age. It's uncanny. There's absolutely no resemblance. It's uncanny. No, I'm kidding. It's as though we were brothers. So I think about him, and I think about some of the other veterans, and make a silent prayer to them, and hope everything is okay. 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning, and so for many people this is a day off, but for us here at the radio station, it's a working day because there is news. And there is news, and I think I'd rather get caught up on 3 days worth of news than try to get caught up in 4 hours on 4 days worth of news. Although I suspect that tomorrow there will still be some questions left over from today's show that I don't have too many answers to right now. And in going kind of I don't want to say in reverse order. But among the last things that I was thinking about last night before I secured for the evening was I got a note on Facebook. Actually, it was just a post on Facebook that said to be on the lookout for the Ben and Jan's van. Apparently somebody went and pinched the Ben and Jan's van. And as I woke up this morning, I got all kinds of videos on my WhatsApp and the radio station WhatsApp from people that had seen the high speed chase that took place last night. Hold on, so let me see if I can cue this up without having it so that everybody you can see all of everybody's Facebook Live phone numbers and identity pictures. But here's a view of what it was like as the Ben and Jan's van goes screaming, through the. We played the audio, but I haven't sanitized the audio. Police cars running behind it. Looks like that scene out of E.T. You remember? Or not E.T. Close Encounters, where you've got all these lights that are flashing by, blue lights, green lights are flashing by you. And I don't know that they caught the guys. The last word I got, and it's funny because this video, courtesy Brad Hewitt, and there is other video that I might be able to scare up from my buddy Paul Bloss. And Paul Bloss doesn't live too far away from the intersection over by Happy Mart. And that is apparently where this chase took them. I'm still researching around for some details, but apparently that's where the chase ended because the guys ditched the van and then ran off into the darkness that is Tiedzen. So I don't know whether they were found. We need bloodhounds around here, don't we? Wouldn't that be cool? Like silent attack Doberman bloodhounds.
Yeah, they've got those robotic drones that can hunt them down now.
Do they have that at the Guam Police Department? Could they? That would have been cool though.
For a reasonable fee, we can work that out for
No,
you.
that wouldn't. No, that would have been the way I would have brought in the drone patrols. You're right.
Absolutely.
So if it's daytime, you can drone up and see if you can find any movement down in the trees and all of that. But if it's nighttime and if it's a drone that's equipped like with infrared sensors, should be able to detect a warm body amidst all of the cold leaves and the trees of the boondocks.
Absolutely.
That would have been the way to go. That would have been the way
Nice
to go.
little sleepy dart.
And there's a little bit of criticism and commentary on the Facebook Live. Let me see if I can pull some of that up here because I thought it was interesting. Brad said, "Luckily, nobody was injured in the chase last night. GPD really has to rework their pursuit SOP. Oh, and get better at pursuits than hot foot chase. Meal Team 6." Ow, Brad. Ow. Meal Team 6 can't keep up with hopped up junkies. Well, imagine the adrenaline. Imagine the adrenaline. And then there is another story that you want a copy of? I'll make sure that. In fact, I think I already sent it to you, Kev. Or did you want the thing where Brad was talking about? Oh, you want the chase?
Chase, yeah.
I thought you wanted me to cut and paste the thing where he was talking about Meal Team 6.
That too.
Anyway, so there is another interesting story that started floating around. What was that? Saturday night? Sunday sometime? I can't remember when it was. The weekend is a blur. I think it was Saturday. And I started getting comments and notes about allegations against senatorial candidate Ken Joe Adda.
Former mayor.
No! And now somebody's going to have to help me with this. First of all, I cannot find the Coffee with the Candidates interview that he did with Paulie Suba. Do we have? Is there anybody's got? I'm sure it's in the archive on the phone. But you've got to know that since that video went viral and all the kill death hit pieces and all of the other stuff that's out there, it's buried down so deep in the stack of memes and funny videos and not funny videos and all of that. And 4 hour show, I don't think I could find it if I started looking at 4 hours. So somebody has already done the work. And it's probably one of y'all on the Facebook Live this morning. Should we say hello to him? Should we say good morning to everybody? Let's.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
I can almost guarantee that Lynn Polino's there, and I don't know if she's working, but I know that she doesn't start her weekdays without us here. Big sister Shelly in there saying, "Happy birthday, Dad." It's not actually my birthday. It's my daughter's birthday. Little Mayumi Gibson is no longer Little Mayumi Gibson. She is probably now, in fact, I'd seen a picture of her and her friends goofing off at the beach, and she's now got to be the tallest one in her class. So happy 14th birthday, Mayumi. Brad Hewitt saying, "Good morning, Ray and the gang. Nice to see you there." Dennis Bensour, Ismael Velez. Holistically speaking, to terrorize is to cause fear. Fear causes your heart to race, jump, speed up. This then causes your heart to pump oxygen-rich blood to circulate through your body faster, therefore making the subject being terrorized healthier. Holistically speaking,
what
that
you
is.
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Ismail there, Brad, Alfredo Mendoza, Jennifer Post-Schnitger say, "Good morning, Zaywert, Franco Julian, Chris Abalencia, and me chiming in saying, "There's not enough people here. It's got to wake everybody up." Zaywert, Franco Julian says, "Would be nice to put these solar-powered lights by the crossing line if there is. Otherwise, just paint them with reflectorized paint." Talking about one of the big problems that we've had here, we've got here on Guam, and while all the details are not in or known, one of the things that we do know about the sites of both of the fatalities that took place this weekend, auto pedestrian fatalities, is I think the police have described both of them as poorly lit, and that remind me to riff on that a little bit later on, because if you ask me, there's just a handful of things that we ask of the government. And I don't know what kind of results we're going to get here in this lame duck period, but it's just, there's parts you drive up and down the roadways here in Guam. There's parts it's third world. You can't make out the reflectors. You can't make out the lines, and it's dark. most of the places that you're doing your driving. I'm not talking about the back roads, the secondary, tertiary, quaternary roads out in the back. But for heaven's sakes, a routed roadway should have lights adequate enough so that people can see that there's somebody, even if it's somebody wearing a black pair of pants and a black shirt and black hair and a black hat walking down the side of the road. And we don't get enough of that. We don't have enough of that around here, and ask me, it is another in the continuing failure of not this administration, of the entire government of Guam to see after the safety of the people that live here. Tommy Aguero is there. Nick Perlosky, Melissa Perlosky is on. Is it better with two? Is it in bigger stereo if you've got two Facebook Lives going? Ken Leon Guerrero is there. Adonis Quito Mendiola, Tom Tahazi, Joe. I'm gonna work real hard on saying this name because I've had practice. Joseph Leah Sialangi. Leah Sialangi. Yeah, Leah Sialangi. No, the hard part is you got to remember at the L-A-G-I, he's Samoan. So yeah, Samoan. So it's there's an N sound in there that you don't see it, but it's there. So you just got to remember, Elias Yolangi. There you go. And I already said hello to Tom and Beck Salazar, Juanita Machi-Waven, Greg Karabrock, Tom Muffness. Oh, Tommy's got a little Valentine there for me. That's nice. Jane Sasai says, thanks to all veterans for serving our island and nation. And Jane, no, thanks for sharing Dave. Great veteran with us and the rest of the Vietnam vet community. Mark Cruz is there. Tedo's there. Joe Blas saying, good morning, Guam. Dora Marie Fegerger, Jeff Ojeda, Lynn Vince. Yeah, canines would be a perfect tool in that situation. Tear up a new behind in those subjects. Oh, you were thinking about... You're thinking about the punishment phase before. Okay, Jeff Pleadwell's there, Cindy Rapadas, Hafaday, Rico Blancaflor, Lynn Pears is awake and moving around this morning. Penny Cruz. What's Adonis going on about now? Beat diabetes and fight cancer by giving up the garbage, eating less, and using fat in you for fuel. Ketosis, baby.
Yeah, I can say the keto diet actually is helping my son. My oldest, he's dropped almost 100 pounds already over several months of the keto diet. He's a truck driver, so he don't get to move around a lot.
Yeah.
So there must be something to it.
Okay. So 100 pounds?
Yeah.
Are you sure he didn't just, swallow something with a worm in it?
No, he's just been doing the keto thing.
I was lurking around on Instagram this morning, and I happened on a post. And I could probably send it to the WhatsApp so you can see it as well. And it says, did you know replacing coffee in the morning with tea increases immunity up to 5 times, lowers stress, slows down the aging process, and supports cell regeneration? You buying that crap?
Yeah. Problem is, then I would talk like this.
Let me just take it. It'd be a lot slower pace in this program, I think. It's 6:31 in the morning and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: the drainage grate along Palisan Vitoris Road in Tumon that resulted in a $100,000 damage claim paid out by Gov Guam has now been fixed. The chief prosecutor, Joseph McDonald, received the $100,000 settlement from Gov Guam after filing a personal injury lawsuit following the injuries he sustained when he fell from his bicycle after the front tire on his bike slipped through the gap in the grate, whose slits ran parallel to the traffic. The accident occurred March 2015. The settlement was reached this past September. McDonald was knocked unconscious when he fell. He suffered a fractured upper jaw, pieces of his tooth embedded in his lip, and bleeding of the brain. He underwent several surgeries. DPW Director Glenn Leon Guerrero says that the grate involved has now been replaced with a crisscross grate. He said it was the only one along the roadway that was not a crisscross grate. The Democratic majority in the upcoming 35th Guam legislature will be caucusing soon to choose their speaker and assign committee chairs and legislative rules. Acting Speaker Therese Terlahi said they are awaiting official certification by the Election Commission. Terlahi has said that the 15 senators in the 35th legislature will vote on the positions during the first legislative session in January. She said she is excited about the majority secured by the Democrats in the recent election and very excited about the diverse and excellent group of leaders who were just elected to the 35th Guam legislature. Guam Regional Medical City has won reaccreditation from the Joint Commission following a 3-day inspection conducted in October. In a release, GRMC President and Chief Operating Officer Dr. Michael Cruz said the GRMC team met the demanding schedule the Joint Commission set, noting that the inspection had to be placed on hold midway through to accommodate the preparations for Super Typhoon U2. GRMC Board Chairwoman and CEO Margaret Bangzong, meanwhile, said we passed our inspection with flying colors and have been fully and unconditionally reaccredited. The Joint Commission conducts surprise, in-depth inspections every 3 years. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Good plan. 6:34 in the morning. We'll call that iConnect time. They're giving away a vacation for 2 to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. It's the Connect and Win giveaway. Sign up for a 12-month plan, and you're automatically entered. 'Tis the season for winning with iConnect, so go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by my friends over at Wendy's, and they've got a new sandwich there. It's the Sawsum Sauce Bacon Cheese Burger. Wait, no, it's the whole new name. New Sawsum Bacon Classic Cheeseburger. There you go. Stacked with applewood, smoked bacon, beef patty, melty cheese, all of the vegetables that you want on it, and now Wendy's signature awesome sauce. Now, they slather this stuff in there. They slather it in, but I want more. I want more. I want it to come in a cup. I want to be able to take my burger and dip it in there. Yes. And then when you're all done with that, and it's got the awesome sauce, got a little bit of the au jus from the burger, maybe some bacon crumbles and things like that. Then you tip it. Then you drink the Sawsum sauce.
Would that qualify as a cheeseburger fondue?
It like a fondue, yeah, like that, yeah. Anyway, so you can get the burger in 3 different formats: single, double, or triple. It's the burger worth bragging about, and I just did the Sawsum Bacon Classic at Wendy's.
Attention federal employees and annuitants. Enjoy free health screenings and learn about Take Care's health plan offerings, including rates 19% lower than last year for its federal non-postal high option at the Micronesia Mall every Saturday from November 10 to December 8 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for raffle prizes, group fitness demos, and a health fair while getting to know the team. Hope to see you there from your friends at Take Care.
There we go. Not live traffic. What you're seeing right now is a scene that Brad Hewitt captured on his dash cam /cell phone last night of the police giving chase to the thugs that stole the Ben and Yan's van. And like I said, this is one of those things. It happened. I get a note from somebody on Facebook says, "Be on the lookout for it." And then you start hearing about all the cops giving chase to these guys. Interesting and fascinating story. Although I'm 56 years old, and I've never understood the concept of stealing a car on Guam. It's not like you can drive to Hawaii. It's not like you're going to start a new life by taking the car and hitting the road. That's my way of filling the time here on the traffic report. I'm looking at the traffic gizmo this morning. It's, for a lot of people, a holiday Monday, so there's nothing there right now, and I don't think there's going to be a whole lot to report about all morning long. But that's all right, because we're going to be here talking up stories and talking up issues like that and others as the program continues.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
We'll need to start a list. I think we'll need to start a list here. What's today? Today's Monday the 12th, right? My daughter's birthday. And that's why, I always felt lucky because she was born on 11/12. It's easy for me to remember. What's her name's birthday? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't ask me about Social Security numbers. No, that's sorry. That's not in. That's another one of those things. It's probably in my phone. It's I've got pictures of the kids' Social Security numbers. It's probably right next to the video of Kenjo with Paul Suba. You still haven't found that yet. If you've got it on your phone, yes. What are you pointing at?
Your dad.
Where? Did you send it to me?
I did.
Oh, you're a good man. Good man. Okay, I'll check on that in a second. 988-5874. That's 988-5874. If you've got any other cool videos or memes that are floating around. Like I said, Brad Hewitt sending up some video of the police chase last night. I don't want to call it a high-speed police chase. I'm sure they got to be pretty. Some of the speeds got to be pretty up there. But I have not yet heard any of the estimates of those kinds of things. We'll see what we can find. There are a couple of other cool videos. And remember I was telling you about Kenjo, and now he's been arrested. Allegations of terrorizing not one but a couple of different people that came through there yesterday. Have you got the names of those guys? Who was he terrorizing, and how was he terrorizing them?
I do not know.
This seems to be, we haven't punctured the seal on that one yet. All we know is that
the magistrate report is not out yet.
I hate waiting. You know this about me, right? I hate waiting. I want to know more.
We'll have to wait and see.
988-5874. It didn't take very long for the Kenjo memes to come out. This one was on the internet almost immediately after people were saying, what? Allegations of terrorizing, arrested? And so this meme started making its way around. If you're not in jail, you should get arrested. And then at the bottom it says Kenjo add his name on it. Now, again, the innocent until proven guilty, I think, is the way it works around here. But just for some people, almost a humorous nature of the whole Kenjo story going back some time. We'll watch and see. Although I'm sure that there are going to be some that say if it is PTSD, nothing humorous about it. The guy needs to get some help, and I will agree on that point.
No, but getting arrested is holistic on its own level, because if you're in jail, you're out of circulation.
There's something like that. There was something, and so there will be, I'm sure, more and more of those attempts at some kind of holistic meme that is going to be floating around. And frankly, I'm surprised there aren't more than just the one that I've seen so far. Jesse Pareda, Lillian Cruz online this morning saying good morning, Ray, Kevin, and Michael. So I'm sorry, you caused me to distract myself yet again. And the distraction this morning is it was just looking at something else. The thing that we got to do, we need to start making a list here. I'm going to start building the list. It's going to be the Ray Gibson Show list of crap we want Lou and Josh to fix. Yeah, what do you think? It's not a good name. It's not an elegant name. But I think we need to start putting that list together. Crap we want Lou and Josh to fix. They can start planning. They got the transition teams. They're working on all of that stuff right now. For heaven's sakes, would it be possible at the end of the first 4-year term to get some of this stuff fixed? The god-awful, butt-ugly chain link fence in front of John F. Kennedy, right? Woman administration. Can we find a way to pretty that up? I mean, I get why you need it. Not really. I don't know why we can't control the kids, but I understand why we need it. But there's got to be a way to pretty it up. Hanum Basula's out there, and can we please turn on a few more streetlights? Is it possible that there is a way that we can get more streetlights turned on especially the routed roads in places where you know what, somebody is getting clobbered by a car there all the time? It's not like we don't know where these places are. You know, they had up in Saipan. You remember down in Susupi? They had, I guess, a lot of hit and runs, and were worried about people crossing the street, for nighttime church services. So they put those lights on the road so that when there was a pedestrian in the area, you could see the lights on the road light up and let you know to slow down because there was somebody around, Brown.
I recall a few years ago, GPA was replacing many of the street lights with these long left.
The LEDs, yeah.
Whatever happened to that program?
The idea was that you could get more LEDs per mile than you would with the regular sulfur dioxide ones.
Where are they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just spread them around in a bunch of different places. We'll put that. Crap we want Lou and Josh to fix is light the street lights. Maria Pangilinan on the line from the Guam Election Commission. Hello, Maria. How you doing today?
Fine, thank you, Ray Gibson. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay. I'm following up on some news stories that from last weekend and all of that stuff. I've named the program name today, and we name all of our programs is okay. Take the signs down, because I noticed that there are a whole lot of signs, political signs, that are still up on the roadways, and I think some of them might legitimately be waiting out the results of a recount, and then there's some that are just losers. And even some of the winners that we're pretty sure they've won. So they can take the signs down, right?
It's supposedly all on private property, so it's up to them when they want to take it down.
Understood. That's the thing. But I mean, in terms of the election, you're just waiting out a few more ballots to come in from the states.
Yes. We have to give the absentee off-island ballots up until November 21st.
Okay. And so
that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to count the absentee and the qualified provisionals on November 21st after 5 o'clock. So we've scheduled it for 5:30.
5:30 on the 31st.
The 21st.
21st. I'm sorry. All right. 5:30 on the 21st, and then those votes will be added to the totals that have already gone through the system. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And now for people that are out there, the conspiracy theorists and the ones that refuse to give up, is there a mathematical possibility that the outcome of the gubernatorial race could change significantly?
We have, as of Thursday or Friday, I think, as of Friday, we still had over 300 outstanding. And like I've said in the past, we don't get all of them back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you and everyone else can do the math. So based on that number,
so it would have to be like all of them would need to get in the next 9 days, and then they would all need to tip over in favor of Frank or Ray.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
and then, but before that, Ray, before the 21st, we do have a meeting scheduled for this Thursday, November 15th. Part of the requirements for certification is that all administrative complaints get resolved before certification.
What are the outstanding administrative complaints? Did anything come up on Election Day?
There were a couple on electioneering and one on the index of registration or the list being available to the public out in the open.
Right. I recall that, and I recall at least one of the complainants reaching out to me, expressing concerns that there was sufficient information outside on those indexes to be used to help steal somebody's identity.
Yeah. So those are the two, and then so we do the administrative complaints this Thursday. We do the absentee and provisional next week, Wednesday. And then we have tentatively set the 23rd for recount.
Hold on a second. I'm looking at my calendar here because I want to know what we're going to be doing Thanksgiving weekend. So the 22nd is Thanksgiving, and you have tentatively scheduled the 23rd as recount day.
That's correct.
That's Black Friday. You realize that? You know, that's the ominous title for a day to do a recount.
So we asked, yes, and so we asked whether that would be a better day, or we were trying to do the recount before before the absentee tally. But because of the closeness of the race, it's only prudent to do it after the absentee.
That way, you've got all weekend if there are problems, if there are issues to get those resolved, at least among the commission members. So on the 21st, we will expect everything to be in. There will be a meeting at 5:30 to make a quick count of all of the ballots that have been received, any provisional ballots that were cast that were authorized. We saw a number of them in the primary election, but as it turns out, most of the people that cast a provisional ballot never got back to the election commission to verify that that was who they were and that they were eligible to vote.
Right. I think for the general election provisionals, we received about 100, and we're looking at a little under 30 that can qualify.
Okay. So we just put that in the pile of things to know in the background. So we've got 30 provisional ballots that may or may not apply in the recount that's going to be taking place on the 23rd. And as you said, how many absentee ballots?
Over 300.
Just a
little over 300.
A little over 300 went out, or you're anticipating a little over 300 to come back?
A little over 300 are still outstanding.
Okay, so there's still a lot of outstanding ballots out there, a number of provisional ballots that could factor into certainly a change, maybe at 15 and 16 or 14 and 15 in the ballot race for senators. But there's the possibility that, like I said, if all of those ballots came in for Ray and or Frank and not Lou, that might be enough to force some kind of a runoff. Possibly. Do we know if the governor's going to declare Black Friday a holiday? No, I'm adding additional cost to the cost of the election so far. That's a big question that needs to be answered. Is fine. We've had the election. The commission continues to meet. There is still work going on over at the Guam Election Commission. But do you guys got any? Have you gotten any clear sense of where we're going to get the money to pay for even the general election?
Well, we do have Ray. We have enough money for the general election. We don't have enough money to finish the fiscal year 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So this week is dedicated to, besides picking up ballots at the post office and clearing the provisionals and clearing the administrative complaints, we're working on the budget to make sure that we pay all of our general election vendors and our precinct officials and our election workers, and then go from there and check out our budget and see where we're at.
There's another Guam Election Commission issue here, and I guess you're looking for detailed financials from Les Carlson, Deputy Director at BBMR.
Yes. So all public officials and heads of agencies who on their sole signature can contract or procure for the agency are required to submit personal financial disclosures.
Yes. And so it is the belief of the Election Commission that based on that, then Les Carlson, in his acting capacity, should have to fill out the financials.
Yes.
I think he's disagreeing with that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
So who's the ultimate arbiter here? Apparently he's heard from somebody over at the Attorney General's office or has an opinion. Does the GEC legal disagree with the Attorney General here?
No, our legal counsel actually agrees with the Attorney General, but the question that was posed to the Attorney General, or the question that was answered by the Attorney General, is: do deputy directors file personal financial disclosure statement.
And the answer is no, deputy directors don't do that. But if they are in an acting capacity and meet that definition that you quoted just a few minutes ago, they probably should. But that wasn't the question that was asked to the Attorney General.
That's correct.
So there needs to be another opinion coming up.
Right. Yes.
Hiya, Day. You guys are just mad at Les because he gave you a hard time about the budget, right?
Absolutely not, Ray Gibson.
Well, it's what it looks like.
No.
It's what it looks like. Joe Pag said on the radio this morning, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck and has feathers, then maybe it's a duck.
Well, I don't have feathers.
I wasn't talking about you. Maria, it's always a delight talking with you. And a note from Facebook Live. Thank God we've gotten Maria around here. Who's that lady in Florida where they're about to have a repeat of the 2000 election? Yes, there's gonna be hanging chads and butterfly ballots and all of that stuff in what just one precinct now as they try to determine the winner between Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum.
Yeah, just last night. I was told you are not ready. You are not moving to Florida, and I didn't get it until I thought about it a few minutes later.
How you doing? All right. Well, we'll talk to you again soon. I just wanted to get the timeline down. So there's not going to be a whole lot this week other than just going to the post office and checking the box every once in a while. November 21st, everything needs to be in at 5:30. We'll do a hand count and a hand inventory on the ballots. Full recount on Black Friday, and you should be in a position to certify the election. What, Monday?
Possibly Monday, possibly even Friday, depending on how many we get there.
Gotcha.
How much we get there.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Thanks again. It's always fun talking with you. 6:54, Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission, and kind of the long way around to what that schedule is going to look like. There's a lot of people, as I said, all I want to know is, can we take the signs down? And if your numbers aren't, in the top, let's call it 16 on the gubernatorial, on the legislative side, and I mean, I don't know. I've already told you this. If it came down to a runoff, the possibility of a runoff, really, are we going to do that? Is that, is Frank, are you okay just stepping away from this one? I mean, it's not like either side got a whole lot. I mean, what did Lou and Josh got, half of the number of the votes that were cast, and it was split, about 50-50 between Ray and Frank. I mean, there's, if it came down to a runoff, do we really think that there would be enough votes? Are there enough Frank voters that would go and support Ray? Are there enough Ray voters that would go and support Frank? Are there enough people from the Lou and Josh camp that just, are happy to vote for anybody and will go over and vote, for another character? You think that's going to happen?
Given the numbers of the ballots yet to be counted that Maria was talking about,
yes.
The gubernatorial race is not in question. It's the senatorial races. The gubernatorial race is a done deal.
How many votes would it take to trigger a recount?
250.
There are at least 300 ballots that are outstanding, and another couple of dozen provisional ballots.
Right.
And so, like I said, it's possible that all 300 plus ballots that are coming in, the absentee ballots, will make their way home, and they might all be for Ray and Frank, and not.
Yeah, but it's not going to make anybody a winner. It's only going to lower the margin below 50%, which
to make
would allow
a runoff.
For, yeah.
Yes.
And the runoff could only be between
the top two votes, then the top
which is
then
not
two
Frank
vote getters.
and Alicia.
Yes, but the point is, even if it came to that, even if it came down to it, do you suppose that Ray and Tony would grab the opportunity? I use that word on purpose.
Well,
would they grab the opportunity for a recount, or would they just say,
they,
look,
they haven't conceded yet? They're waiting for
and not much by way of a pronouncement from the governor. At least the first one that I read. I understand there was a second statement that came out that was a little bit more specific to Lou and Josh's camp. For heaven's sakes, we've already got the publicity. We'd look bad on the world stage. Normally, I don't care about that kind of thing, but we'd look bad on the world stage if everybody in the world is making pronouncements about the first woman governor on Guam and the first openly gay lieutenant governor on Guam, and then only to find out 2 weeks later, oh, you know what? We took another look at the ballots. We were waiting some stuff out. We did a hand count, and sure enough, based on the recount here, with all the votes being in, looks like there's room for a runoff. Oh! I think that would just make people absolutely crazy. And then a couple of weeks in the holidays, Dude, we got shopping to do. We got no time for rallies, got no time for building headquarters and things like that. Brenda Snipes is the name of the person that I'm thinking of. How many ballots will the Russians submit? I don't know. Jack Haddock says he's going to go and take his signs down. I don't know, Jack, is it signs or sign? I didn't see too many of your signs out there as I was out rolling around. And the only reason why I bring it up, and I'm being that snarky guy on the radio, is because I had a long drive to take yesterday, Saturday, from Magana all the way north. And it just struck me as I'm up and down Marine Corps Drive for a big chunk of this that there were still a whole lot of political signs up. And it's a week. Tomorrow makes it a week from the end of the election and the last of the counting. So I'm just thinking it's beyond time to start taking these signs down and prettying the place up. For heaven's sakes, take those signs down and start putting up your Thanksgiving decorations. All right, fine. Christmas decorations. We can go ahead and do that. We're that close to a couple of things. 6:58 and change. Now, where do we get to go in the next hour of the program? As we usually do, rolling in on the 7 o'clock hour. I've taken a look at West Texas and I've taken a look at Tapas, and thankfully, guys, those numbers are going in the right direction. I suppose I could scare up some numbers and see where the markets ended up on Saturday. Ugly, but I'll save that for the market report. It's also possible that Jerry Roberts may find his way back into the studios of The Point for a live broadcast of his extra point for today. Yeah, I think that would be a groovy thing because I'm sure there's lots and lots of stuff to talk about. In the meantime, I have brought it up, and I am going to make a list, and we'll keep this list handy for the next 4 years. Crap we want Lou and Josh to fix. That nobody's been able to get around to doing. The Bud Ugly chain link fence in front of John F. Kennedy, the Hanum Basula, and now the poorly lit roads. If you've got something you want to add to that, 888-8255. WhatsApp it to me at 988-5874, or just stick it in the Facebook Live comments. That's always a great way to get a hold of me because somebody from around here is always reading those. It's 7. Here's the Fox News.
Controversy over the AG. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. Reaction from Congress still hot and heavy over the president's pick for interim attorney general. More on that live now from Fox's Gunal Scott.
Paul, Matt Whitaker, as acting attorney general, will oversee the special counsel's probe into Russian meddling. GOP Senator Lindsey Graham on CBS Face the Nation says Whitaker shouldn't have to recuse himself from that.
There'll be no political influence put on Mr. Mueller by Mr. Whitaker to do anything other than Mr. Mueller's job.
But Democratic Representative Adam Schiff is one who is asking for ethical clarification, even questioning on NBC's Meet the Press if Whitaker should have that job.
There are serious constitutional arguments that as a principal officer, he cannot be appointed to this position.
Whitaker was previously Jeff Sessions' chief of staff at DOJ, Paul.
Gernal, some world leaders gathering in Paris today, remembering the armistice that ended World War I. French President Emmanuel Macron, though, using the moment to denounce nationalism, a belief supported by President Trump.
Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism by saying, our interests first, who cares about the others? We erase what a nation holds dearest, what gives it life, what makes it grace, and what is essential, its moral values.
Macron through an interpreter there. President Trump later delivering remarks at an American cemetery outside Paris. Tension rising in Florida. Counties there begin recounting ballots in races for U.S. Senate and also for governor.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
Supporters of Republican candidates accusing the Broward County Supervisor of Elections of trying to tip the races in favor of Democrats. This coming after officials admitted they mistakenly counted 22 absentee ballots that had been rejected, but said they can't do anything to fix it after they were mixed in with about 200 legal ballots. This is Fox News.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Voters in Colorado making history electing Brianna Titone, the first openly transgender lawmaker, to its legislature.
While I was running to represent the district that I live in and fulfill the needs of those people, it was important to me to also represent trans people in Colorado and across the country.
Titone says her gender identity rarely came up on the campaign trail. Of the 7,000 state lawmakers across the country, only 4 are openly transgender.
Fox 31 reporter Evan Krugel in Denver. More than 8,000 firefighters still battling 3 large wildfires at both ends of California that have destroyed thousands of structures and killed 25. Almost 400 square miles of California is currently burning, with the Camp Fire in Northern California's Butte County currently being the biggest. New studies are shedding more light on the benefits of certain dietary supplements.
So you're healthy, but you take a daily dose of fish oil tablets or maybe vitamin D to stay that way. How's that working out for you? Because some recent studies show no clear ability to lower heart disease or cancer risk in either of them. However, if your triglycerides, a type of fat found in the blood, are high, or if you're at risk of heart disease, higher amounts of prescription fish oils really do help out, even reduce the risk of heart-related deaths. Doctors give a thumbs up to these results and say they could lead to new treatment options for hundreds of thousands of patients. As for vitamin D supplements, this study, quote, showed a big nothing, says heart specialist Dr. James Stein of the University of Wisconsin. Karen McHugh, Fox News.
The State Department saying Secretary of State Mike Pompeo spoke today with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, telling the prince that the U.S. will hold all of those involved in the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi responsible, and that the Saudis must do the same. Khashoggi was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, last month. I'm Paul Stevens, and this is Fox News.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho 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 without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. 2 pedestrians were killed within hours of each other in separate accidents on Guam's roadways Saturday night. The first fatality occurred in Anigua in front of the district court building. 52-year-old Enrina Esifong was walking with her son and 2 teenage grandchildren just after sundown Saturday when she was struck. Esifong was rushed to Naval Hospital. CPR conducted en route. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapao reporting that the woman driving the black Honda Pilot SUV that hit Esifong was interviewed by police, but she's not considered a suspect at this time. Sergeant Tapao said that the investigation continues. Speed, alcohol, road conditions, and poor street lighting in the area are among the factors being looked at. Less than 3 hours later, another pedestrian was fatally struck by a vehicle on Marine Corps Drive in Jigo. Sergeant Tapao reporting in that case that a man was struck as he was attempting to cross the street in front of the Jigo Payless towards Chalandone. A gray Nissan Sentra traveling southbound in the outer lane hit him. The man was taken to GRMC where he was pronounced dead about 10:30 on Saturday night. He has not been identified yet. Saturday's road fatalities raised the number of auto pedestrian deaths on Guam's roadways this year to 12. Meanwhile, Guam police are searching for the person who led them on a high-speed chase last night. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapao this morning confirming that the vehicle involved was a Ben and Yan's van that had been reported stolen. He's awaiting further details on the case. Video posted on social media shows 3 police vehicles involved in the high-speed chase, which ended near the Tri-intersection in Barragata when the driver ditched the van and fled into the bush around Tidzin. A search failed to find the suspect last night. That search continues today. We'll have more news after this.
Attention, federal employees and annuitants. Open enrollment begins on November 12 through December 10 for federal employees' health plans, with rates 19% lower than last year for Take Care's non-postal high option and access to PICA's best clinic, FHP Health Center. Our member perks are unparalleled. Take Care's supplemental wellness package provides cash incentives and access to 19 fitness partners, including the largest fully functioning fitness center in Hagåtña and Dedido. To learn more, call Take Care at 646-6956. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Konnichiwa! We'll be celebrating the 39th Japan Autumn Festival on Saturday, November 17th, 2 to 9 p.m. at the Governor Joseph Flores Beach Park or Ipao Park in Tumon. Parking will be available across Oka Payless with free shuttle service starting at 1:30 p.m. Advance tickets available now at the Japan Club of Guam office located on the first floor of PM Marine. Once again, the Japan Autumn Festival at Ipao Beach Park, November 17th from 2 to 9. Come join us. For information, call 646-8066. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Bank of Guam, and the radio stations of Choice Broadcasting.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The former mayor of Jonia and a candidate for senator in this past election, Ken Joatta, has been arrested on Saturday night on an allegation of terrorizing. Details of the charge against him have not yet been revealed. When Atta ran for senator, he described himself as an adjunct professor of public administration at the University of Guam. The 35-year-old former mayor has said in a previous interview with the Guam Daily Post that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Atta said he noticed the signs of PTSD after serving as a merchant mariner in 2006. He declined to describe details about what happened to him due to a non-disclosure agreement with his former employer. The drainage grate along Pale San Vitoris Road in Tumon that resulted in a $100,000 damage claim paid out by Gov Guam has now been fixed. Chief Prosecutor Joseph McDonald received the $100,000 settlement from Gov Guam after filing a personal injury lawsuit following the injuries he sustained when he fell from his bicycle after the front tire on his bike slipped through the gap in the grate. The slips on the grate ran parallel to the traffic. The accident occurred March 2015. The settlement was reached this past September. McDonald was knocked unconscious when he fell. He suffered a fractured upper jaw, broken pinky finger, pieces of his tooth embedded in his lip, and bleeding to the brain. He underwent several surgeries. DPW Director Glenn Leon Guerrero telling the Guam Daily Post that the grate involved has now been replaced with a crisscross grate. He said it was the only one along the roadway that was not a crisscross grate. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at weather.
Thanks. Mostly sunny and a slight chance of showers. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 miles an hour. Expected highs today 90 degrees with overnight lows of about 77 degrees. We're watching sunset earlier and earlier these days. 5:51 for tonight, tomorrow night, maybe in the next foreseeable days before it starts inching back up into the 6 o'clock hour. Also going to see sunrises at about 6:18 or so in the morning as well before those start to go back into the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, what's going to happen is, we talked about it last hour, actually starting on the 15th, the sun will start setting at 5:50. It'll hold there, and then it'll start setting a little later. It'll start that slow trend of setting later, but the sun is going to continue rising later all the way until after the solstice in December. So then things start to balance out around the equinox in March.
So we are moving into what I like to consider, and there's a couple of big races down the road, the Guam Running Club's Hafa Marathon and of course the Guam International Marathon. It's going to be taking place in the spring of next year. We're moving into what I consider to be about the best training times of all. The sun is going down earlier in the evening, and that means for those of you that are, have only got training for evening running or evening workouts, that's going to be perfect for you. Sunrise as late as 6:18. So for people that are going out marathon training that want to get like 20 miles in and would like to do it without a whole lot of sun on them, a 3:30 start, 4 o'clock start, for some of the faster runners is definitely going to work out for you.
Not to mention that meteorologically speaking, that this time of year, more and more drier air gets entrained into our general weather situation here. So as the days go on, things just dry out and get nicer. So you wake up to those nice cool mornings. You get that nice cool feel right around sunset as you're out there doing your running. Yeah, it is the best time of year to get out there and do stuff.
7:14, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
We're surrounded by sound. There are sounds that you need to hear. There are sounds that you want to hear. And there are sounds that you long to hear. Hear it all, louder and clearer than ever before. If you or someone you know has a hard time hearing, Guam Hearing Doctors can help, using state-of-the-art test gear to evaluate your hearing and coming up with a plan to make your life better by making your hearing better. Call Guam Hearing Doctors for an appointment or visit them on the web at guamhearingdoctors.com.
Portions of the program brought to you by our friends over at King's Restaurant. Great daily weekday specials for lunch. Today is Monday, so even though it's a holiday, the big lunch special is still going to be Salisbury steak. Beef steak tomorrow. We've got pork sinigang on Wednesday. Thursday is meatloaf, and Friday is beef tenactac at King's.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
I see it. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Nice to see those guys out there. My friends at American WaterTech, Smarter Water, Better Water. Guam Regional Medical City just got their reaccreditation for another 3 incredible, fun-filled, action-packed years. And who else? Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. And American President Lines. They're shipping the future.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters.
Yes, thank you very much. The pedestrian fence at the Micronesia Mall. Hold on a second. I'm going to write that all of this stuff down here. The Micronesia Mall, pedestrian fence. Okay, got it. I'm adding as we go to the list of crap we want Lou and Josh to fix.
For these pedestrian fences, all you need to do is just get some retired grandmas and give them a box of Zoris.
Do what?
Yeah, they'll keep people from crossing the street illegally.
Yeah. You get a couple of old ladies out there, and all they got to do is they see somebody that's crossing the crosswalk, and just there's bang, was oriented.
It's like a boomerang, man.
Pedestrian fence at the Micronesia Mall. Thank you, Adonis also says sidewalk on Route 4, 8, and expanded shoulder on Route 15, the back road. Boy, you know, if they put an if just they expanded the shoulder out there, I'm not asking for a sidewalk, but if they expanded the shoulder, a pedestrian lane back there, that would be awesome because you could use that as a great training trail. But the thing is that little white stripe between the pedestrian lane and where the traffic is, that's not going to save anybody's life. That is not going to prevent somebody that's doing their makeup or on the phone or taking a selfie of themselves while they're driving. That ain't going to protect you. That's one of the biggest things that one of my greatest fears of running is that I know what I'm doing. I know how to run on the roadways and the areas that they've set aside for pedestrians. Do I want to do it certain days and times? Oh, absolutely not. 7:18 in the morning, and there's as I said, it's one of the things that I'm going to begin to build. So as their transition team, and they seem to be working on one, a transition team starts putting things together over at in the new administration. I want to be able to go to them and say, here, my listeners and I have put together the list of crap we want Lou and Josh to fix in the first 4 years of their administration. Can you start working on it?
I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure how germane that is to the conversation. Is there something in there you want me to talk about medicinal marijuana or recreational marijuana? Would you like Lou and Josh to fix some crappy thing with that?
No, I just think that you may be lightheaded in thinking that any administration is going to get anything done.
You know what? There's hope springs eternal. Otherwise, what's the point of going to vote? I just got me putting that stuff down here. So it's walkways, sidewalks, and you know where we desperately need a sidewalk? Between the Guam International Airport and Marine Corps Drive. I don't walk there. I don't know too many people that do walk there, but there is an astonishing number of Korean visitors that go up and down that roadway as they're making their way back to their to the airport so they can go home.
Truth be told, my very first day here, took back the rental car.
Yep.
And walked home from the airport. And yeah, it's just insane. There's nowhere to walk. There's just you're walking in the soggy grass, or you're walking in the street and rolling those dice.
Yep, roll the dice. It's fun, isn't it? It's kind of an adventure. It's like welcome to Guam. You didn't know this was going to be such an adventurous place. How close can the cars get to you without slowing down or stopping? It's a fun thing. So anyway, there's a couple of other things I got to get to, and we'll put them all down on a piece of paper, and I'll send them to Lou. I was thinking about this. Somebody writing in about mass transit. They said prioritize mass transit and give incentives to carpooling. I totally agree. I don't know about incentives for carpooling because, you know, the inside of my car is ugly, but mass transit for sure. There's a story in one of the newspapers today about how they just kind of, you know, we got a problem with one of the buses that handles things down in the south, so we're just not running it anymore. We're just going to take it off the route's closed today. And so how do people get notified that the route is closed? Well, first of all, they have to be sitting and they're waiting for the bus, and then it doesn't show up, right? And then they go find a phone somewhere, pay phone if you still got one, or maybe one of those cheap phone plans, and you call up and say, yeah, where's the bus? And then they say, well, the bus is broken, so we're not running it today. Thanks for telling me. And I guess they're going on the poor mouth in it now, saying, "Oh, we don't have enough money to handle, you know, a system where we could reach out to people and let them know that the bus isn't running." You know, when you go to the States, you're using Uber, right? So you go to the Uber thing and you say, "I'd like a ride." One of the first things that it will do is it will tell you how many Uber drivers there are in the area. There's little black cars on the map that are driving around, and that's how you know, hey, there's Uber guys around here. So are you telling me that the Uber and the smart technology that they're using there's no way to connect that up to a Guam mass transit app that shows you the location of the buses? Are you telling me that the guy that runs mass transit here on Guam cannot look at a map of Guam right now and tell me where the buses are? There's no fleet management system in the mass transit system.
This is all reminiscent of those warm times I spent on the big island of Hawaii.
It's not hard. It's not hard. You can use the technology. I mean, I know guys right now that could install the technology into the cars and make it so that you could track them wherever they happen to be. Where's the number one? Well, the number one is stuck behind the number two down in Telefofo because the number three blew a tire.
Yeah.
So it's got to pick people up.
What they could do is hire somebody out of Caltrans in California, who are the best traffic people in the entire world, because they have to be.
Imagine.
And just throw a bunch of money in them, because that's what it's going to take. I mean, because it's not simply a matter of a little bit of software or something. There's a whole bunch that goes into this.
Well, I'm just, if all we need to do is to communicate to the people where the bus is at any given moment, so they know about how long they're going to have to wait, so they can go to the dialysis or get a job or visit somebody in the hospital or go shopping.
You're talking about technology doing it. There's the other way is simply call it in.
Yeah.
I'm at such and such, and here's where I am. But if you want technology, that's a whole different story.
Well, the technology is not that difficult, though. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It's not that difficult.
No, it's not difficult. It's expensive.
I'd challenge you on that one as well.
He's challenging me on that one as well.
I would challenge you on that one as well. Expensive, is a relative thought. I'll bet you there's guys right now. Over the weekend, they had the, the Teen Expo down at Agania? Yeah. All kinds of entrepreneurs and guys that are trying to put gadgets together. I'll bet there's probably 5 or 6 guys that were at that Teen Expo that could knock out a piece of software in a minute.
Okay.
In a minute. Just go, oh, that's all? That's really? We get advertiser supported, dude. It'd totally be fun. Anyway, where was I? Got to take a quick look at what happened on the markets. Markets all looking bad over the weekend. S&P 500 off by almost 1%. The NASDAQ off by 1.65%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 200 points. Are we still over 25? No, it's 25,989. So just under the 26,000 mark, but it's probably going to come back in a couple of days. FTSE at 7105. The Nikkei at 22,250. Hang Seng's off by 625 points. 25,000 points, on an average to begin with, but that's still a big average loss for him. Shanghai at 25.98, and the DAX index is actually up by 1.84. We'll take a look at some of the other commodities. No, the commodities now. Let me do this. Oil, the West Texas crude at $60.19, as compared to, where was it on Friday? $60.56. So it's going down. Somewhere had lost 20% of its value. Just in the last couple of weeks.
Really?
20% of the value of West Texas. So not good if you're in the oil business and you're trying to sell oil, but if you're on our side of the equation where you're trying to buy oil derivatives like, gasoline and fuels that are based on West Texas, then it's nice to watch that benchmark go down. $74.07 for Tapas. Not as big a jump down. It was $74.10 when we were talking about it on Friday.
So
it's still moving in the right direction.
If West Texas has lost 20%, of the value.
Yes.
At some point, shouldn't the GPA hit on oil fuel reimbursement go down 20%?
Let me ask Simon. We'll find Simon.
It's up to Simon. He just makes the choice.
He can make all the decisions.
We know that.
He's got that little Swami hat that like Johnny Carson used to wear when he was doing that
Karnak.
bit. That Karnak hat. So he's got one of those things. He just puts Simon Sanchez's Karnak hat on and say, the LEAC will now be
20% less.
20% less. And was it 27 cents now for 27 is the blended rate. I forget what it is for the fuel portion.
It's a lot.
It's
half the bill, right? Or more.
I think it's better than half. I got it. We'll check with Cy. 7:25 in the morning, and it must be time for Jerry Roberts to do his extra point.
Was that it?
Would you like something a little more? Do we have the timpani? Do we have a timpani? Drums? What do you got, Mike? Anything?
No.
All right, fine. Here's Jerry Roberts and this morning's extra point.
There have been times in my life when I got to the end of myself and didn't know what to do. I felt hopeless, gave up, and regretted it. You've probably been there, and maybe you're there now. I want to give you something special today on the extra point. We all get challenged and often feel that we've reached our limitations. We feel we have nothing left. If you're a person who is geared to progress, then you know about challenges. You know what it's like when you feel you can't go on. You have nothing more to give, you hit the wall, you're done. This could be about some form of exercise like running and building endurance so you can do a 5K or a 10K and eventually a marathon. Or you take hikes with the goal of climbing hills so one day you can climb mountains. Maybe you're working out in the gym and you want to build strength so you can build muscle. Maybe you're tired of your job or your boss and you think you can't do another day, but you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can't afford to quit. Is your kid struggling in school, and even though your dog tired and know it's going to cost you sleep and you already don't get enough of that, you help him or her with schoolwork because you know if you don't, they're going to give up. Many years ago, I learned a simple method to summon up the strength to continue to do just a little more. I call it the power of just. When I'm stuck and I feel like I've given all I've got to give, this is what allows me to make a small little nibble of progress, to go a little further, to get a little stronger, to endure a little more of what my head tells me I can't endure. I go into just mode. When I ran on a regular basis and my legs were sending messages they couldn't go on, I'd say to myself, just one more block or just over to there. Maybe I'd only do that much, or maybe I'd do more. In the gym, when I'd hit muscle failure, I might remember to say, just one more rep. Take a breath and give it everything I had. Often I'd do 2 or 3 more. That's where progress is, building the extra strength. The power of just allowed me to stay in a job until I found something better, that no matter what my jerk of a boss threw at me that day, I could handle it for just one more day. It ended up being about 5 months. If you recall the movie Hacksaw Ridge about the Battle of Okinawa in World War II, Private Desmond Doss saved 75 of his fellow soldiers, continually asking God for help. Just one more, Lord. Let me save just one more. Maybe you're feeling stuck. Maybe you can't see the finish line in front of you. Maybe you're looking at a hill that seems to reach to the clouds and beyond, and you're losing focus and the ability to stay on course. Instead of giving up, hear yourself say the word just and go a little further, and then a little further. Your reward is waiting. It's just a little further. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish when you add this superpower to your utility belt of life skills. The power of just. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 in the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
I love that. Just one more mile, just one more water stop.
That's it.
That's it. That's generally only.
That's how runners do it.
Got to make it through those one things at a time. And so last Sunday PR, and this last Saturday I broke that PR. And
PR being?
Personal record. Okay. So I broke a personal record for a 5K, that route in Agagna in particular. And I did it by mere seconds, but it still counted. I just needed to get through the chute just that much faster. And that's the way it works. So no matter where you think you are, you think you've plateaued somewhere, you probably haven't. You probably haven't hit your plateau.
One more rep, one more mile, one more block, one more day, one more hour.
Just one more sail.
One more.
It's 7:30 in the morning. That's Jerry Roberts, and today's extra point, another out of the park one. We gotta save that one. We gotta definitely save that one. That's one that's evergreen. We can use. That's a Jerry we can do anytime we want to. Tomorrow, double the pleasure with Jerry Roberts because you get him on the radio, number one, and number two, you'll also get him in the Guam Daily Post in the work zone section of the editorial part. 7:29 in the morning. Headlines with Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. Also coming up next.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K, take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata Airport and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Okay, I think I got it. I think I see what's going on. You want me to read this now, right? Very good. Support our families of the CNMI and the Super Typhoon U2 Relief Concert. This will take place Saturday the 17th at the Elks Lodge in Agagna Heights from 7 until 11. The program will feature prominent local bands and killer recording artists from around here. Tickets $15 at the door. Proceeds to benefit the islands devastated by Typhoon U2. For information, contact Committee Chair Frank Guerrero at 777-2078 and pick up a copy of any Guam Daily Post in the last couple of days, today included, and get details on how you can help with the Mariana's Strong Project. That's only going to be going until the 16th because they've amassed, I believe, at a number of drop-off locations, literal tons of stuff.
Oh, the office is full of it.
It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be. Wasn't that great to see people come in and
has been great.
Want to help out, and it doesn't do anybody any good at the office. So they're going to take it, and Kevin's going to load it up on the Antonov at the airport, and that's how they're getting all of that stuff up to our friends and family up in the CNMI. It's 7:31. Is it headlines time? From the Guam Daily Post, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Hafa and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. The Guam Election Commission has reported Lester Carlson, the Deputy Director of the Bureau of Budget and Management Research, to the Attorney General's office because he did not file a financial disclosure report. Carlson telling the Guam Daily Post he believes he does not have to file a financial disclosure because he is serving in an acting capacity only. And he's already discussed the issue with the AG, who issued an opinion in September stating that deputy directors do not have to file disclosures. In its letter to the AG, however, the Election Commission wrote, notwithstanding Carlson's position as a deputy, the GEC still maintains he's subject to disclosure laws because he is the highest-ranking official appointed by the governor to oversee BBMR, absent an appointed director. Carlson says he was subjected to multiple disclosure requests by the GEC this year. He said this year was the first time he's been asked to file disclosure reports. And last month, after being advised that his name would be submitted to the AG, Carlson demanded an apology from the commission over what he called an unwarranted action bordering on harassment. The Democratic majority in the upcoming 35th Guam legislature will be caucusing soon to choose their speaker, assign committee chairs, and approve the legislative rules for the 35th Guam legislature. Acting Speaker Therese Terlahi said they are awaiting official certification by the Election Commission expected on November 21st. She said the 15 senators in the 35th legislature will then vote on the positions during the first legislative session in January. Terlahi, who was the top vote getter in last Tuesday's election, said she hopes her colleagues will trust her to continue as Speaker, saying she's ready and willing to serve in that or any capacity. Veterans Day was yesterday, November 11th, which also marked the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. However, the Veterans Day holiday is being observed today, and all GovGuam offices and federal offices, including the post office, are closed today. All public schools closed as well. A Veterans Day ceremony honoring the men and women who have served in the armed forces from Guam is slated for this morning at 11 o'clock at Ipao Beach Park. Island leaders, local military representatives, as well as veterans groups will be taking part in this morning's ceremony. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
iConnect is giving away instant prizes with each new 12-month plan through December 31st. You'll also be entered to win a vacation for two to Manila, which is a city in the Philippines. I'm sure you've heard of it. Or an incredible weekly prize when you connect and win with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for plenty more details.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Is there traffic yet? Let me look at the traffic gizmo, see if there's anything that's getting scared up right now. I am totally not seeing anything. Haven't seen anything on the map all morning long. Which maybe you know what? Maybe my configuration setting is wrong. Maybe I got to put it into holiday mode. Okay, I did. It's in holiday mode, and that means that it's going to be picking up it'll turn the squelch down a little bit more on the thing, so I'll be able to see more cars on the roadways. And right now, the only place I'm seeing any kind of slowing down, any kind of traffic at all, is at the intersection of Route 16 and Route 27. That's over by McDonald's, so everybody's, yeah, is there a wave? Is that what's going on? I know it's the homeless guy. No, it's the homeless girl. You remember that? It was anyway. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm looking at traffic just beginning to build up in one direction, slowing down completely in the other, but that's all I see this morning on the traffic gizmos. Enjoy the ride. 7:36. That's right now traffic on The Point.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
$7:37, the Ray Gibson Show on a Monday morning, holiday Monday morning at that. So if you're waking up and you get the message on your Facebook that says, oh, they're doing Facebook Live with The Point, and you're going, am I missing work? What am I supposed to be at work today? I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but here at the radio station, today is a working day for us, and I don't mind. I don't mind. I kind of like the idea of jumping in here every once in a while on holidays. I think the conversation changes a little bit on holidays. We can take a little bit more of a longer, loving look at some of the stuff that's out there, and you know, maybe see if there's other directions the conversation can take us other than the usual. So let me work on this. Let me say hello to a couple of people in the Facebooks. I see Melina Montanotnia is there. Vivian Castro Leon has checked in. There's Paz Avfligui. Melissa Blas Scheibel. Vivian LG Sablon. Who else is playing around? Bob and Connie Bartonico. Art Hameister. Good to see you there, buddy. Need to see you on the road. Tony Babauta is in that Tony Babauta? As in, are you going to be the chief of staff? Tony Babauta, inquiring minds want to know. There's rumors that are floating around that you are they're looking at you as a chief of staff. Are you ready for rumors, Kev?
Never.
You want me? Okay, so you only want facts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a fact that this is rumor.
Okay.
Well, I've got nothing to substantiate it, but it could make for interesting conversation one way or the other. And you know, sometimes that's how they you know, just raise the flag and see if anybody salutes. Just throw it out there and see if somebody comes through with some interesting thoughts. All right, so Tony Babauta, chief of staff for the new administration. Interesting. We've been asking about who's going to be taking over the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
Big question.
Big question. Yeah. I understand that they're looking very strongly at former DRT chair, Joey Duenas.
Really?
Yeah, I used to run that department years and years, and Carl's administration. He was at Rev and Tax. Now, last week, the rumor was that Tom the Hammer Adda was going to the port. And it looks like that rumor was only half right. Today's rumor, it is a fact that this is rumor. Today's rumor is that he's going to the airport in the new administration. Tom will go to the Guam International Airport. At the port, Rory is the guy.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I was up at Rev and Tax on Friday talking to John Camacho, and they are prepared for the first visit from
somebody.
Lou and Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
They're prepared.
Because Lou said that would be the first stop on her agenda. They're going to go up to Rev and Tax and hammer out the collection issue.
Well, I don't want to be one of those guys that go, it's not hard. Apparently it is hard, but even harder still if you're stuck on the interpretation of the law, and I don't know who to blame on this one. I think John is, as I think about it, might actually have a point in their attempt not to have to worry about collecting this tax, which is the language of the law.
I think everybody's going to find that it's easier said than done. You know,
to collect all that money out there.
Yeah.
Well, the amnesty was the most successful thing that they've done, but that still netted $30 million. But it cost $30 million to get.
Exactly.
We got $30 million in the dough, which we need now. We needed the cash right away. But in getting that cash, it cost the interest and the penalties that were attached to those dollars, and those numbers are up around 80-90% as well. So it was. In terms of getting the cash, successful program. In terms of maybe, I don't know, the reason why we put interest and penalties on top of these things, maybe not so much. Now, the other thing I'm working on today, and thanks everybody for chiming in with some great ideas. Terry DeBold is there. Carl T.C. Gutierrez got thumbs up. Kim Bloss. Hafa Pretty Ashley Calvo Rodriguez is there. Jules Elmer. Melissa Salas Akimoto, whose husband wrote a pretty interesting editorial guest column. Is politics more dangerous than the flu, and then goes on to actually make the point that maybe around here it is. I'll spend some time with that on you. I see Denise Mandiola. Hey, Denise, I need you to call in and debrief me on the Teen Expo that took place on Saturday. There was not one empty parking space within a quarter mile of the museum because everybody was down there. Carl Facuda, Carmelian Guerrero, Patty Hughes. That's Patty Camacho Hughes, for those of you that are wondering, how do I know that? Why is that name familiar? Because that's why. So just some of the people lurking. Now, I've asked on Facebook Live or wherever to give me a list of crap we want Lou and Josh to fix. And let me clarify this for you. Let me, because I don't want to get caught up in we want Lou and Josh to fix Guam Memorial Hospital. Of course, we want them to fix that. We don't want Lou and Josh to fix Simon Sanchez. Of course, we want that team to do something about Simon Sanchez, to work as closely as possible with John Fernandez and the Ed Board to make it so that when it's time for the kids to go back to school one of these years, they'll actually have a facility that they can be proud of. So it's not the big stuff, and maybe that's the way I ought to. It's the little crap that I want them to go after. There's the big stuff. We know about all of the big problems that we've got to solve around here. Somebody's got to figure out a way that people can be confident that when the receiver finally leaves the Guam Solid Waste Authority, that we've got a team here of people that will be able to take on based on the foundation that David Manning and those guys laid out, the foundation of a really, really good system, and not screw it up afterwards, right? So that would be a big crap item for Lou and Josh to worry about. And frankly, they're going to need to bring in teams of people that can do that. Frankly, it's the little stuff. It's the little things, the little niggly things that just get under your skin after a while you're driving around on the roadways going, why do we have to drive on so many metal plates? Why is that? Somebody went in there and they fixed something underneath the ground, and eventually they're going to go back and permanently fix it. In the meantime, here's a steel plate on the roadway. And depending on which roadways you tend to go up and down on, you almost forget they're there. You've driven over them so many times that it is now a fixture. Yeah, just like the sidewalk. Just like the sidewalk over there. You get used to it after so many years, and I'll bet you it's possible that there are some, like right in front of Horse and Cow. I'll bet there was one right in front of Horse and Cow. I'll bet you nobody can even remember why they put that steel plate there. Why did
I do.
You do.
I remembered GWA put it there years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and there was some dispute over whether or not the work to be done underneath was GWA's responsibility.
Navy responsibility.
Exactly. So there it sits.
How many years?
Oh, I can't remember. 3 or 4 years
How many
ago.
more of those? How many more stories are there out there like that? And you just go, can we just fix some of the... We don't have to... I mean, it'd be nice, over the course of 4 years, right? The 4 years, they're running for re-election. They say, well, we fixed GMH. We got the accreditation back at GMH, and we're not hemorrhaging cash every 2 weeks. Right? That would be a nice thing to hear. But it would also be nice if, you go, and of the 100 steel plates that are on Marine Corps Drive, we've been able to repair and remove 75 of them. And we'll all go, yes, and we'll dance long into the night and happily vote for your reelection. So it's those kinds of things, those little tiny just annoyances of living on Guam that I really, really want them to fix. I'll give you another one. It's another one of these pet peeves of mine. As somebody that spends a lot of time, especially Marine Corps Drive, East Agania, right? I'll park my car over by where Tom Shea's new place is going up, and then I'll run down that road, and I'll run down Marine Corps Drive, and I'll run to the Paseo, and generally walk around the top end of the Paseo. And if I had trash bags with me, I could fill a dozen trash bags. I mean, and the reason is, it's not that the island is populated with litter bugs. There are a lot of litter bugs here, but that's not it. The reason why there's so much trash out there is because there's no trash cans. There are no trash cans in our public parks. So people go there with the expectation, I got my fast food, I got a couple of cold drinks around here, and when I'm done, I'll put it in the trash can. But there's no trash can to put it in. And I think people are hesitant to take the trash bag that now smells like onions or whatever and stick that in the car. So the path of least action is just leave it there. You know, and where the saddest one is, this is, in my mind, this is one of the saddest locations, right? Is we've got that, the 3D Guam seal. Yeah, right there at the intersection. We've got this beautiful Guam seal that Ray and the Beautification Task Force, they put that thing together. It's this little park within a park. You got chairs and the perfect place to take the picture of you so that when the lens is all lined with the Guam and the seal and everything, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But there's trash all over the place there because they won't put a trash can there. And do you know why they won't put a trash can there?
Nobody to pick it up?
No. They say that they won't put the trash cans there because people will take house trash and stick it in the trash cans. They will take their own personal trash, and instead of giving it to the guys over at Solid Waste Authority every once a week, and actually paying for a subscription like everybody else does, they'll just take it to the government, someplace, a dumpster, and dump it there. That's why there are no trash cans out there, and as a result of no trash cans out there, we've got people leaving trash behind or just openly littering there because it doesn't look like anybody gives a damn. That is among the things. So it's not GMH, it's not government corruption, it's not we don't have enough police officers. It's this little stuff that we've got to fix, and I've got. I could do an entire show. You can help me do a show, 888-8255, or send me the WhatsApp of what your pet peeve here, the little tiny craplet that you want Lou and Josh to fix. 988-5874. And I'd like to see. I want them to get a nose picker from the campaign. This is your job. What's my job, ma'am? What's my job? Your job is to take care of all that little crap that Ray Gibson talks about on the radio. And turn this place around because it ain't the big stuff. The big stuff might take a little bit more effort, but all of these things I'm talking about, this small.
Yeah, I got a big one, but I'll save it.
You save it?
Yeah, I gotta save it.
So like potholes.
Yeah,
potholes. Those are annoying. And all of these places where we've spent a lot of money, or the federal government has spent a lot of money to lay down some asphalt on the roads, and within 6 months of them putting it down, it begins to peel off. That top layer peels off.
Oh, so you mean like the entire center lane of Marine Corps Drive from the ITC building to Agana?
I think so. I think that along that area.
Yeah. Tri-intersection?
Tri-intersection's got one.
There we go.
At the bottom of 8 and 1. So over by Venue, that area there. So over in that area there's another bunch of places where you've got heavy traffic, trucks, buses, that kind of thing going down the road. So they've got gravity working and then making a turn. And so I think it is the friction between not just the tires in the road, but the tires as they're turning against the aggregate, which is pulling it off.
Yeah, the fact is, and of course, there is an entire division that is tasked with doing testing on asphalt and other things. And, of course, the asphalt here undergoes some pretty significant weathering. You have the intense heat of the sunshine and then the rain.
Means that we got to maintain it. We just got to, when you see something like that happening, you go out and you cut a square of it and you patch it up and you put something down that has been more recently tested to withstand, the rigors of driving around here and hope it doesn't spread any bigger than where you've cut that square. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you, it's one of the things that you don't see in too many other places that we've got a lot of here. And so the reason why is in all of the money that we pay in taxes, we should be getting a little bit more. And there's all these people that say, well, Ray, you can't be the guy that goes on the air and says to get rid of the liquid fuels tax if you're not also willing to put up with potholes on the roadway. And I'm going, yes, I am. Yes, I can. I can totally do that. I see the mathematics in my head. 988-5874. If you can as well. Lady D says her pet peeve: turning criminals loose to commit worse crimes against the community, especially the violent criminals. How many stories have we talked about like that? How many when the magistrate report comes out today? And everybody's going to be looking for the magistrate report to come out today because everybody's will want more information on the Ken Joe story and the nature of the terrorizing allegations that have been leveled against him that has got people talking in this town like you wouldn't believe. So those guys, right? So we're probably going to see in the magistrate report, we're probably going to see a couple of those kinds of stories. where so-and-so was arrested for doing something stupid to either another family member or a friend of a family or a complete stranger or a police officer, and they're going to say, oh, yeah, and so-and-so was also on pretrial release for something else. We're seeing far too much of that. And again, crime is a big problem in this town, but the idea that we've got criminals that are let out, and maybe there's 1,000 good reasons for that. And, you know, I spent the weekend with some people over at the Attorney General's office, and maybe the next time we're all together, I'll ask them, why is that? Why do we do that? Why do we not have a mechanism to better keep track of these guys once they're on pretrial release? Is there a way that we can say, you need to be wearing a bracelet. You need to be able to be spotted from space, from a satellite. We need to know where you are. And if we're letting you out so you can, quote, go to work and, quote, support your family, end quote, then we need to know that between 8 and 5 or 9 and 6 that you're going to be in this little geofenced area. And if you go out of it, and if you go into an area that we know is geofenced and labeled as a bar or a place where other people go and buy ice, then we'll know that maybe you're not living up to the terms of the agreement that you've got with the Attorney General and the courts. That's one of those little annoyances, the aggravations that we've got. With Guam's overpopulated prison, I'm sure using that force to get our island clean is an option. We've seen them out there, just not enough. What's the logistical issues with that? Carl Fukuda referring to something that is done in places, is done here on Guam, but I don't know where and when is the thing, and that is being able to take people in the prison workforce, if you will, low-level criminals at the Department of Corrections that, for whatever reason, find themselves incarcerated, find themselves, wow, imagine that, working their way through a sentence that aren't really a danger to the community. Can we give those guys machetes and bush cutters and gloves and trash bags?
Many people here would feel like that's a violation of their rights.
No, well, not those guys. No, we did. People welcome that kind of thing.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm nuts about it. I remember
where I come from.
Up inside me. I know where you're from. Yeah, I'm not sure if we want chain gangs around here, but
they were awesome. If you drive down the highway and you see them, and a big dude on horseback with a shotgun guarding them, they ain't going nowhere.
Did it feel like justice?
No,
Did
it
you feel
sure
like
looked
justice?
like it.
Did you feel like the community was getting something back in return?
It sure looked like it.
What's the line? So if it costs us $114 a day to incarcerate somebody, is there any way that we can get $114 worth of value out of them in a particular day? And maybe picking up trash on the side of the road is going to be that. In Saipan, another example of the way they had it right up in Saipan. I don't know to the degree that they still do it, but I remember having a barbecue with some friends on the beach. There were trash cans there, and they were full. So we were talking about, well, what are we going to do with the trash here? We got all these beer cans. We got these parts of used to be lobster. And the guy says, just make a nice pile at the base of the tree over there, and tomorrow it'll be gone. Because in the early morning hours, they would take the guys out of the Department of Corrections up there, and they'd go to all of the beaches and all of the parks. And that's the first thing they did. They cleaned it up. You would never know. In fact, I went by the next day, and there was no way that you could tell that we were ever there barbecuing and drinking beer and making a mess. Now, the answer is, Carl, I believe they do that now. I believe that is still a function of the Department of Corrections. You just might not be seeing it. So it's possible if you use the same commute every day, you might see these guys out there on that particular roadway twice a year, right? But trust me, I'm told that they are out in other parts of the community doing some of the cleaning and all of that. But I would agree to this point. Let's get a crew. That's their job. What do? We go to Agana. We go to the Paseo. We go to East Agana. We go to the West Side. And we just go and clean as much as we possibly can. Carl was saying, I was in Saipan in July, and it's pretty clean. The government buildings are in excellent shape. Also, as in as well? Yeah. Be nice if all things being equal, we do have a lot more people here and a lot more services. Here, you want another one? You want another just little crap that the new administration can take care of? We're not asking you to cure cancer. We're not asking you to fix AIDS. Can we make it so that the lines are shorter in most places where you have to gov Guam? Isn't that the thing? And again, kudos where kudos are deserved. There is a time you can after you get your vehicle inspected and you've got Rocket Insurance on it.
Yeah.
You can go online at the Department of Revenue and Taxation, and they will say, okay, yes, we received from Pacific Tire your clean bill of health on the car, and we know that you got insurance because Yuka over at Guan Insurance says your insurance is good. Okay, there we go. And so pay us, I don't know, $50 or something like that. Here's your PayPal account. Here's your credit card number. And we will put in the mail a new sticker for your car. And I remember when they first started doing that, I thought, this is it, man. Our government's finally turning a corner. Before too much longer, we'll be able to get all kinds of government services and sign up for and do all kinds of other stuff just right there on the computer. And that was the last thing I ever saw of them. GWA, GPA, they've got these great online systems.
Yeah,
I think they're
time.
fantastic. I think the guys over at the Solid Waste Authority are doing a pretty good job with their particular outreach. But there's just so many places where I think you might find a way to make the line shorter. And I know what you're saying. I said, Ray, you're over 55. Just get in the Manumco line. Hey, you know what? That's starting to get to be a pretty long line itself. All right, Jack's doing the mathematics. Says $114 a day works out to $14.25 an hour for an 8-hour day. That's a lot of money to spend for somebody to go out there and do the bush cutting and the trash picking up out on the roadways. Or is it? Let me just counter that thought. I mean, if you're of the opinion that $14.25 is too much to pay to have guys just go out there and bush cut and pick up trash. Let me give it to you this way. We have seen a significant downturn in the number of Japanese tourists that we have here. And I've heard lots of reasons why that is true. Maybe because they feel like they're getting pushed out by mobs of Korean travelers. Maybe they think the prices are too high around here. Or maybe it's the quality of our destination has gone to hell.
It's the demographics, the older.
It might be some of that.
Yeah.
Could be some of that as well. But we know that even among the older demographics, they're still traveling. We know that there's still a lot of outbound travel in a lot of different age sectors in Japan. They're just not coming here. And they're going to say, "Oh, it's cheaper to get on an airplane and go to Hawaii."
They've all been here once or twice already.
Of course. Well, BBAC's. Oh, it's a nice destination. As long as it's a nice, safe destination and there's new attractions and new shopping and new restaurants that people can go to, it will evolve and people will enjoy it. But I think it's getting harder and harder for them to look the other way on homelessness in Tumon and the amount of just trash that's out there. It's 7:59 and change. Play around with those topics as we make our way into the next hour of the pro. Oh, it's a football weekend. There's Veterans Day, and I'm told that there's actually a few good games that have been played this weekend. We'll talk about that with Mike and Blake. They're actually going to talk sports. I'll be kicking back, pretending to talk sports as we make our way through the Veterans Day observed holiday here on The Point. We're KUSG. Got you. Stand by for Fox News Live.
Recounting in Florida. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. Recounts underway in Florida for that state's gubernatorial race and a U.S. Senate seat.
Inside the Broward County Elections Office, 3.5 million pages of ballots are now zipping through the machines, separating page one of each ballot from the rest. This will take about 35 hours. Then Monday night, all of the page ones on the ballot, that's the page with the recount races in question, will then be scanned through the tabulation machines and the votes then recounted. Every county must be done with their recount by Thursday.
That's Fox's Phil Keating. The Senate race showing a razor-thin lead for outgoing GOP Governor Rick Scott over incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson. Former Republican Congressman Ron DeSantis holding a slight lead for governor over Tallahassee Democratic Mayor Andrew Gillum. The search for bodies continues in the town of Paradise, California. Amid the charred ruins of raging wildfires, at least 25 deaths have been connected to those fires, with at least 100 more people still unaccounted for. French President Emmanuel Macron taking a swipe at President Trump's support of nationalism earlier today. This happening during a Paris ceremony marking the end of World War I.
It was the second time in a week that Macron had taken aim at policies pursued by President Trump. The first earlier this week when Macron said Europe needed to create a true European army. President Trump called that insulting, but the president didn't seem to mind this time, tweeting, quote, "Beautiful ceremony today in Paris commemorating the end of World War I. Many world leaders in attendance. Thank you, Emmanuel Macron, President of France."
Fox's John Roberts covering the president. President Trump later delivering remarks at a U.S. military cemetery located outside of Paris. The Palestinian Health Ministry saying 5 militants were killed by Israeli fire amid ongoing violence on the border with Gaza. And this is Fox News.
What are the benefits of switching to the handset payment option with GTA? For starters, you can customize a plan that matches your budget and lowers your monthly payment. HPO lets you upgrade to the latest phones whenever you want. No more waiting for a contract to end to get that slimmer, faster smartphone. Because with HPO, there are no contracts. HPO lets you design a phone plan that suits you. So join the thousands who've already switched to HPO, the most customizable phone plan on island. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. No services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Democrats getting ready to flex their muscle after retaking the House in last week's midterms. More live now from Fox's Gernal Scott.
And Paul, with a majority that takes over in January, House leaders say they plan to balance the influence of this White House. Democratic Representative David Cicilline says there is another job they have as well.
We also have a responsibility to do oversight. It's a constitutional obligation. We ought to do it carefully.
Meantime, current House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy says the GOP is taking a hard look inward.
There are a lot of reasons why some of these races were lost. I think we have to retool, part of what the Republicans said we needed to do.
Both men on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures. In tweets, President Trump has alleged corruption in key races still being decided, Paul.
Gernal, Britain's independent newspaper, reporting that Prime Minister Theresa May has canceled plans for an emergency cabinet meeting that was supposed to happen on Monday to approve a Brexit deal. Another career milestone for New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees.
New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees hit another career milestone on Sunday.
Brees throwing, looking, touchdown, Thomas! It's an onslaught.
Sound courtesy of Fox with that touchdown. Brees passed Brett Favre for second all-time in career touchdown passes with 509. Brees finished with 3 touchdown passes on the day, added another on the ground as the Saints dominated the Bengals 51-14. Ryan Mayer, Fox News.
Call this a battle of beer. Pabst Brewing Company and Miller Coors now going to trial. Pabst saying Miller Coors wants to put it out of business by ending a long-standing partnership through which it brews Pabst beers. Lawyers for Pabst arguing the company's very existence relies on that partnership. I'm Paul Stevens. This is Fox News.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho, ho, ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
It's important to have claims process that works for you.
At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Kraft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K, take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata, Airport, and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Monday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The former mayor of Jonya and a candidate for senator in this past election, Ken Joe Atta, was arrested Saturday night on an allegation of terrorizing. The details of the charge against him have not yet been revealed. When Atta ran for senator, he described himself as an adjunct professor of public administration at the University of Guam. 35-year-old former mayor has said in a previous interview with the Guam Daily Post that he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder. Atta said he noticed the signs of PTSD after serving as a merchant mariner in 2006. However, he declined to go into details about what happened to him due to a non-disclosure agreement with his former employer. Guam police are searching for the person who led them on a high-speed chase last night. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau this morning confirming that the vehicle involved was a Ben and Yan's van that had been reported stolen. He's awaiting further details on the incident. Video posted on social media show 3 police vehicles were involved in the chase, which ended near the tri-intersection in Barragata when the driver ditched the van and fled into the bush around Tijan. A search failed to find the suspect. That search continues this morning. We'll have more news after this.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The problem isn't just not being able to hear or understand, or having to tell people to speak louder. Sometimes the frustration is having to repeat yourself too many times, or speaking so loud you're almost shouting. At Guam Hearing Doctors, we understand that hearing problems affect both sides. One of our goals is to help your hearing for those around you. Call us at 989-TEST to learn more.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. 2 pedestrians were killed within hours of each other in separate accidents on Guam's roadways on Saturday night. The first fatality occurred in Anigua in front of the district court building. 52-year-old Enrina Esifang was walking with her son and 2 teenage grandchildren just after sundown Saturday when she was struck. Esifang was rushed to Naval Hospital, CPR conducted en route. She was pronounced dead at the hospital. Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau reports that the woman driving the black Honda Pilot SUV that hit Esifang was interviewed by police, but she was not considered a suspect. Sergeant Tapau said that the investigation continues. Speed, alcohol, road conditions, and poor street lighting in the area are among the factors being looked at. Less than 3 hours later, another pedestrian was fatally struck by a vehicle on Marine Corps Drive in Jigo. Sergeant Tapau reporting in that case that a man was struck as he was attempting to cross the street in front of the Ejigo Payless towards Chalandone when a gray Nissan Sentra traveling southbound in the outer lane struck him. He was taken to GRMC where he was pronounced dead about 10:30 Saturday night. He has not yet been identified. Saturday's road fatalities raised the number of auto pedestrian deaths on Guam's roadway this year to 12. The drainage grate along Pale San Vitoris Road in Tumon that resulted in a $100,000 damage claim paid out by GovGuam has now been fixed. Chief Prosecutor Joseph McDonald received the $100,000 settlement from GovGuam after filing a personal injury lawsuit following the injuries he sustained when he fell from his bicycle after the front tire of his bike slipped through the gap in the grate, whose slits ran parallel to the traffic. The accident occurred March 2015. The settlement was reached in September. McDonald was knocked unconscious when he fell. He suffered a fractured upper jaw. His tooth was embedded in his lip, and he suffered bleeding from the brain as well. He underwent several surgeries. DPW Director Glenn Leon Guerrero says the grate involved has now been replaced with a crisscross grate. He said it was the only grate along the roadway there in Tumon that was not a crisscross grate. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
Mostly sunny today, Kevin, with a slight chance of showers. Winds out of the east up to about 15 miles an hour. Expected daytime highs on this Veterans Day observed 90 degrees and overnight lows of about 77. So there's still some weekend left in it for folks. Sunset tonight at 5:51. We'll watch the sunrise tomorrow at 6:18. Quick look at the weather radar. Give you an idea of what the weather's going to be like over the next just couple of hours.
Yeah, just not a whole lot to look at out there. Very, very isolated showers. Anything that falls, it won't even get you wet. Just going to be another warm and wonderful day to get out there and hit the beach.
Why not? Grill marks yesterday. The possibilities that there could be some grill marks today. But take a look at the satellite imagery to see what the long range forecast looks like. And if you go dead east of Guam, there are a whole bunch of clouds up there. Was that just echo or? Is there anything,
there's
anything to that?
Yeah, that's 98C in Best. Yeah, that's that very weak disturbance. It tends to flare up a little bit, but really is just a very weak, low-level trough. Not even really a closed circulation. They're not expecting any development. The conditions right now in the upper environment are just not favorable. If you can see on the picture, you can see these clouds streaming quickly off to the northeast, and that's the wind shear that are just shearing the tops off the thunderstorms. It won't grow under those conditions, and is not likely to, but it will pass south of here later this week, and it'll increase our rain chances.
When are we going to start getting cooler air from the Asias?
Yeah, that's already starting. Of course, we had one very weak dry line push through last weekend, and then over this last week we also had another one push through, but it doesn't really have the punch that they do, say, in January. But it did dry things out a little bit, which is why we have this weather we're having right now.
I want to get some like 73, 72 degree days.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. When is that supposed to happen?
That'll probably be next month sometime. Next month, maybe December.
I can hold my breath. 8:14 in the morning. That's news and weather together. On the point.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by King's Restaurant, where, guess what? Today they're serving Salisbury steak. That's their big lunch special. It's basically a really wet hamburger is what you get. You get the hamburger steak, and then there's gravy on top of it. You got veggies on the side, maybe some potato salad. It's worth eating on a Monday. It's like comfort food. So try it today at King's, would you?
Super Typhoon U2 spared us here on Guam, but the same cannot be said for our neighboring islands. From now till November 16th, join us as we help Saipan and Tinian to get back on their feet. Acceptable donations include batteries, flashlights, tools, cleaning supplies, mosquito coils, rope, toiletries, personal hygiene items, and others. Donations can be dropped off to all GTA stores, the Guam Daily Post, all Guam Fire Department stations, and the Santa Teresita Catholic Church. For more information on how you can help, visit postguam.com.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by AK Lexus. They've got a brand new ES 350 that's waiting for you, and you're going to look at it and say, I like it. Do you have it in like what's the guy's Deadpool colors? And the answer is yes. They've got the dark black, dark red interior on these things. And that's just one of the great color patterns. So take a test drive, take a look around, see what you're going to like, and then drive home with it. You're going to love this car. GRMC, also known as Guam Regional Medical City, brings you portions of the show. The friends over at American President Lines, where they're shipping the future American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. And let me see, who else? Who am I missing now? Did I get everybody? Was that it? No. Micronesia Renewable Energy. Yes. No, there's just so many. I got to keep them all. Never been a better time to go solar. And Security Title, where if you have bought something from a guy that said, hey, I've got some property to sell you, you always go and see them to make sure that he can actually sell you that property. That's what a title search does. All right, that's all of May 16. And coming up, we'll talk sports with Blake.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out.
Yes, get it out of my head. There's a thought in my head, and I don't know what to do about this thought. Thank goodness there's talk radio where I can go to somewhere and be able to, amplify the thought. Maybe see if I'm all wet on this, whether maybe I'm seeing it wrong. I don't know. Just we'll go ahead and filter that stuff for you. 888-825-988-5874. If you are going to be sending me something along the lines of that you would like me to share on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. We stream the program to a number of different places. Obviously, the website, thepoint.gu. You can also watch us on Facebook Live, like many people do, every single weekday morning. And we have added to that capability. We can now take your viewership onto YouTube Live. Now, there's advantages to both of them. Once they are on, number one, once they are online, they are available as video on demand. So if you're going, gee, you know what? I wasn't able to hear, but I heard Ray Gibson did a thing in the 7 o'clock hour where we talked about crap we want Lou and Josh to fix, right? And you go, I wonder if he talked about this. You can go back on the video on demand and take it right back to that point. So do that, would you? 888-8255. I do have a picture that somebody sent on Facebook that I'd like to add now to the conversation. And basically, it is a photograph. It's a movie poster is what it is. Let me see if I can scare that thing up. Did I send it? No, press that button, and then it will get sent. Then it will be a send. And it is a movie poster of Aquaman. Now, I'm going to put this up on the screen, and then I'm going to put Blake Watson's picture on the screen. So you can see the similarity, right? So there's the Aquaman, and then here is that Blake? There's Blake. Good. There. See? Do you see the similarities? Wait, I'll do it again. Aquaman. Blake.
I'm going to have to stare straight into the camera.
Aquaman.
Because I'm trying to see, too, so I'll just look straight into the camera.
Blake.
I think we got to give Blake a trident. Then it'll work.
Aquaman. I could do this all morning. This is fun. Blake. So the movie is almost out, right?
It comes out next month. They actually even moved it up.
December 21, I think, is the date that I've got.
Okay, yeah. I think originally it was supposed to come out maybe like a week later, and so they moved it up. But yeah, I'm excited.
Now, are you going to be ready for it? Because you're going to be like going to the movie theater with the trident. You got the Aquaman beard going on.
I'm going to go to the movies like that. The only thing is I don't know if there'll be anybody there to see me because I like to see the the 10 a.m. first showing of the day.
Of course,
showing,
yeah.
Just because we got it like that. In this business. So.
Totally understand. Totally understand. So there are usually fewer people to talk and interrupt the movie with their cell phones. And just being crappy.
Right. So if you are in the very first showing of that day, you may see me dressed up as Aquaman. But
and really, you are going to go dressed as the Aquaman?
I don't know.
Did you get the Aquaman tattoos? Because he's a tattooed guy.
You know, I have some friends. Some friends who we've
seen. Are they going to Sharpie it in?
Yeah, they're going to Sharpie it in. They we've ran into them. Things like NeoCon and Comic-Con and all the Comic-Cons around here. They go around to a bunch of. It's a couple, and they do the body painting.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So Muse, I believe, is their company that
are you going to the gym now? Are you going to the gym?
I got to, right?
I mean,
I got to.
this guy's got pecs. You and I
know.
we're not pec guys.
That's true. That's true. I've been doing a lot of body weight exercises. You know, a lot of push-ups.
You got a month. You might be able to get it going. You might be able to, so pound some extra in.
And I'm on that bulking diet too, where got to eat like 4,000 calories a day.
I get a peck every day. 6-pack.
6-pack?
6-pack.
6-pack of beer. Hey, you know what? It's time to start talking sports with Blake. All right, a couple of things that I've got on my sports table of contents. I got to do a shout out, and it's another one of those where I got to put somebody's picture up. The kid's name is Spence Steffi, and I'm told this morning that Spence got himself all kinds of loot at a golf thing this weekend. Hold on a second. Let me get the actual WhatsApp.
It's a nice bag, that Cleveland.
Right?
That Cleveland bag that he's got there.
But the problem with those bags is they only hold golf clubs.
Not beer. Is that what
Well, I
you're
suppose you could, but I mean,
some of them hold beer.
I look at it and go, this just kind of, it's a golf bag. You put golf clubs and umbrellas in here. But
you can line it with a plastic bag and put anything you want in it.
I would take the little divider thing off the top of it, right, and put rifles. You remember Dr. Strangelove? That's where the guy kept his machine gun.
Was in there. Well, you
in a
remember
golf bag.
You remember Rodney Dangerfield's golf bag from Caddyshack? It had a radio in it,
Right,
a little
right.
mini bar that
little wet bar.
Yeah, would dispense it and everything.
So Spence shot a 78-79 for second place in the championship flight in the 2018 Tourism Cup that was at Leo Palace Resort up in Menangan Hills over the weekend. So congratulations to you, Spence. And Arlene was the one that sent me this picture, and everybody's just absolutely delighted about it. Congratulations.
Very cool. And it's cool that it happened here locally. So, didn't have to go very far.
And then the other big deal that took place over the weekend is the All-Star game.
The All-Star game. I was there. I was on the call. The Mustangs defeated the Raptors. It was a showcase of defense, to say the least. 19-14.
Wow.
Yeah, especially considering that, one side had the 1,000-yard rusher Kian Artero from FD. He did score 2 touchdowns. Took about a quarter and a half for him to get going, but he shone for sure. And then his teammate Gabe Stanley from Southern, he had a strip fumble on one of the within the last minute and a half of the game. Took it all the way back to the other side, and that separated them on the score for sure. So yeah, 14-19, the Mustangs defeat the Raptors. It was a lot of fun and a really, really, really nice big turnout up there at House Angels Field up north in Dedito.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun?
The weather even held up. It was nice and breezy.
The weather was perfect all weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
not hot, not
if you
cool.
if you follow me on Strava, there was an afternoon run I took on Saturday up around. And there's got to be something wrong with my Garmin, because I could have swore I climbed higher than that. It was started at about where Star Sand Beach is, and then went up the cliff.
Ooh, how was that climb?
It's sweaty. But it's just gorgeous. And when you get to the top, and we were about, half hour, 40 minutes away from the sunset, and watching the sun start to creep down over in that end of northern Guam, all the way down, and then went across the perimeter, and then back down into the valley, and then along the beach.
And you,
gorgeous.
What was this on? What did you document this on?
I didn't.
Your Garmin?
On my Strava.
Your Strava.
Yeah, Strava.
Okay.
So I've got the Strava. The Garmin talks to the phone, and then the Connect program then talks to Strava.
The app lets everybody know what you're doing.
Yeah, if people follow me, they get to see where that was. But I'm just thinking, because on Saturday I PR'd in a 5K, and then Sunday I'm running 2 miles, and it takes me 25 minutes per mile. And people going, wow, it slowed down over the weekend a lot. It was more of a hike. It was more of a trail and a lot of exertion.
Leisurely stroll.
It wasn't leisurely either. There were a couple of parts down there. You're going, there's a lot of loose rock here.
Yeah.
I wonder. You get that. You remember that scene in that movie about the Mayans? What I'm talking about,
right,
where the guy's dangling over the edge, and the only thing holding him up are the other slaves with their
harnesses.
There were a couple of moments where I was feeling kind of that way. But courage is always rewarded.
Hanging by a thread.
That was a good time. So you got the All-Star game, and then you got Spence, and then you got that kind of goofing off. I don't know that I've got the 5K listing for this weekend, but I'll start looking for it right now. Is it time for us to get into the upset-laden world of the NFL?
We can.
Just insane, some of these scores.
Well, It really is. I made one foolish pick. I mean, I got to say, I knew it was I thought it was foolish when I said it, but I still stood by it. However, I missed about 4 of them that I shouldn't have missed because I just picked the safe bet, and that's not what happened.
No, and I think you and I missed the same ones.
Yeah.
The Browns-Falcons, 28-16. Browns
Falcons.
win that one.
Falcons.
I was not. Yeah, Falcons. I was not expecting the Browns to beat Atlanta. But I guess that game was in Cleveland. 28-16. Browns beat the Atlanta Falcons. I did pick the Bengals to beat the Saints only because I just thought that game was at home and outdoors. Yep. Maybe Breeze wasn't going to be able to throw it and kind of windy and blustery up in Cincinnati. But no, 51-14.
I think Breeze is on a mission. I mean,
I got the Chicago game right. They beat Detroit pretty handily, 34-22. I did not expect Tennessee to beat New England. Anybody? New England loses. I guess they got to lose some.
Well, yeah, and not 34-10. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Of course, any given Sunday.
I'm sure
so they didn't kick in at the fourth quarter like they're supposed to.
I know. So I'm sure most people, I mean, unless somebody just out there, is just a genius and they just had the Titans upsetting New England, most people probably got that one wrong as New England loses 34-10. I really thought Jacksonville getting their running back for the first time this year, that would matter against the terrible Colts, but they lose by 3, 29-26.
Yeah, during the first 3 quarters of that game, Jacksonville was really struggling. They tried to make the comeback. Had they had another 5 to 10 minutes to play, I think they might have pulled that one.
So 3 big upsets there for sure. As Atlanta loses to Cleveland, New England loses to Tennessee, and Jacksonville, I guess that's kind of an upset, loses to Indianapolis. Kansas City takes care of Arizona. That was an easy one to pick, 26-14. The Jets, I didn't think Buffalo had 41 points in their offense.
No, I didn't either.
But they did. 41-10. They beat the Jets, which I picked the Jets because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, really, and that was wrong.
Didn't work out.
Tampa Bay, Washington. Tampa Bay's, they're terrible.
Yeah, they're dumpster fire.
Washington is on a mission. I think that they have a chance to win.
That division?
Well, yeah, the division. Or at least be there at the end because they still got 2 more left with Philly. The Chargers right now currently beating the Raiders 9-3. Green Bay is handling Miami by 6 points, 7 points, 6 points. 8 points.
8 points, yeah.
14-6.
Something, I don't know. There's a lot of whatever in there.
Yep, which is, if that holds true, I'll get those 2 right. The Rams, they are losing to Seattle, which is not good because I have the Rams winning. It's 14-10 in the second quarter there. And then 2 games. And actually interesting to note, as the Sunday night extravaganza, we'll see the Eagles take on the Cowboys. But the bigger story, Al Michaels turned 71 today. As he'll be on the commentary this night.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's Al Michaels' birthday today.
Right,
so happy birthday to Al Michaels.
What a big deal.
Yeah. He's 71. It's crazy. I saw him in...
Did he get in trouble for something once upon a time?
Did he? I don't know.
No, he did not. No,
Not
that
him, right?
was Marv Albert.
Marv Albert and Frank Gifford, right?
There we go.
And Frank Gifford. And him and Frank Gifford and Dan Dierdorf, they were all on the Monday night crew together when that happened. I think that may be why you'd be thinking that. But he was on, I saw him over the weekend on Jerry Maguire, which was, I think, came out in 96. And he was much younger, about 50, and all dark-haired.
Right.
We're all much younger in the Jerry Maguire days.
Really handsome Al Michaels.
So
there you go.
Moment of inspiration this morning. A Japanese runner broke her leg during a relay race. She crawled to her partner so the team would be able to continue. And there, as you might imagine, is video of this lady with a broken leg, trying to get to the end of this particular lap for her, so that she could hand off the towel to her teammates and they could go. I mean, you can imagine, just the anguish there. And she's about to get passed by somebody, but what was it Jerry Roberts was saying this morning about just one more step? Just if you can't run, then walk, and if you can't walk, then crawl. And just do your part. Never ever give up. And just you think about that, bring a tear to your eyes as you watch that. But fascinating. You can find that on Twitter and probably a few other places. That's frankly, that's the kind of thing I like to see on the internets and the socials. Unfortunately, we tend to get all kinds of other different, less satisfying, less inspirational memes and things like that. 8:30 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. There is one other thing I'd like to share with you, and I touched base on this a little bit ago. And I kind of wanted to bring it back for the purposes of this conversation between four of I think the most intelligent people on the island. I mean, Kevin Kerrigan, Michael Knight, I got yourself, and then of course there's me and everybody listening. So I think between us we're all fairly intelligent folks, and would be able to sort out how much of this is truth and how much of this is Carabao dust.
What is this? Replacing coffee in the morning with
Replacing
tea?
coffee in the morning with tea increases your immunity by up to 5 times. It lowers your stress, slows down the aging process, and supports cell regeneration.
I could see that.
Problem is, it will increase the stress of those around me because if I don't have my coffee, y'all
Well,
are
you
not
know,
going to like me very much.
Well, the tea still has caffeine if you switch to tea, right? And so I've seen the
I
reason
don't think it's got the same amount.
Well, it releases it over a different span of time. It's almost like a time release, like a.
So I don't generally see you when you come into the office in the morning. Do you have coffee with you?
I make it when I get
You
here.
make it okay.
So,
You make
so
it.
it's
Oh,
fresh,
that's
so
right.
it's
You're
hot.
right.
Yeah.
Keurig guy, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with you, Mike.
What
I have
kind
2
of
cups
tea
at home.
is this?
You make a couple of cups at home?
Yeah.
Okay.
true.
So I make obviously I have, and ever since I started working, because at the old place Bob Gaith would make the coffee, and he'd make enough coffee for like 50 people.
Right.
But it did a lot of caffeine in the way that he would put all that stuff
yeah,
together.
Navy coffee.
So I make my own. It's the first button I push in the morning is the coffee maker at the house, and then I go and take care of the morning constitutional. Kevin has never come to the radio station without a cup of coffee, ever.
Have to have my coffee.
Well, and Kevin, and he has to allow for the stopping.
Could you do it though?
But what kind of tea is this that promises all of these cure-alls?
I don't know. So the question that I have is that a little bit of is that the container that's next to the cup? I'm gonna put this on the screen so people can see that I'm not making this up. This is an actual thing that I found online. The container there, is that an Herbalife thing? Is that an Herbalife tea container?
Yeah, I don't know. It has a green label on it. I don't know if all Herbalife is
I
green.
haven't even seen an Herbalife anything for so long.
I don't know. And so I'm wondering if that's like a commercial for like Herbalife tea.
It might be.
Could be, right?
It might be. But I will tell you.
So that's the part that leads me to. I'm wondering if there's a little bit too much promise in that. I mean, increase your immunity to 5 times, slow down the aging process.
Sounds a little oversold.
Yeah. And supports
Maybe-
your cell regeneration.
But maybe it has something to do with like the dye, not dyes, but maybe like coffee's a darker beverage, so maybe they're saying that contributes more to the aging
All right,
process.
somebody has the knowledge. Like I said, the four reasonably intelligent people talking around microphones, and not one of us can verify any of these claims. So if there's somebody out there with the knowledge, and if it is an Herbalife thing, I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds to talk about some of your happier customers and some of your success stories, because I am kind of curious about that. Because it says, and this is my total ego talking now. This is all this is not coming from a happy place. This is coming from my dark ego. It says slows down the aging process.
I think that's because green tea has more antioxidants than coffee. Coffee has a lower concentration of antioxidants than teas like green tea, black tea, white teas.
This may be all I talk about for the rest of the show. It's 8:34, and that's all the time we've got for sports. Blake Watson, thanks for coming in. Hey, what do you got going on this morning on the station? You giving anything away?
I had Japanese festival booklets to give away last week, and I'll have another one Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday, right? Yeah. So
What
I got
am
that.
What am I giving mine away? Do you know?
Actually,
the producer tells us
I
you don't
do
know.
know.
Account line.
I don't because I don't have my email pulled up, but I did. I
Okay.
think maybe tomorrow.
I'll check. All right, guys. I got.
Yeah, Japanese festival stuff.
That's coming up on the 17th. They got this little the thing that looks like a dance, but they're actually carrying something heavy around.
What?
The big sake thing.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's in my mind that's sports. So we can talk about that tomorrow. It's 8:34.
Actually, no. It says this morning. Today's the 12th. Oh, Ray, one booklet. On my
right on.
email.
Okay,
so you got a book to give away today and Wednesday.
All right, fine. I'll do it.
There you go.
Time for you to head back over Star 101 and take care of the rest of the morning show and talk about fruits and that kind of thing. And then over here, we're going to be doing the headlines with Kevin Kerrigan.
Yes.
And more. It's ahead.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
isn't it? Yeah, so my friend Nate Horn on Facebook Live says tea leaves have more caffeine than coffee beans. But because tea is more diluted than coffee, you need to drink more to get the same kind of kick. Shelley says, do Kayani... I don't know what that is. I have to look it up. Give me something to do while the news is playing. From the Guam Daily Post with the 8:30-something headlines, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Guam Election Commission has reported Lester Carlson, the Deputy Director of the Bureau of Budget and Management Research, to the Attorney General's office because he didn't file a financial disclosure report. Carlson told the Guam Daily Post that he believes he does not have to file a financial disclosure because he's serving in an acting capacity, and he's already discussed the issue with the AG, who issued an opinion in September stating that deputy directors do not have to file disclosures. In his letter to the AG, the commission wrote, notwithstanding Carlson's position as deputy, the Guam Election Commission still maintains that Carlson is subject to disclosure laws because he is the highest-ranking official appointed by the governor to oversee BBMR absent an appointed director. Carlson says he was subjected to multiple disclosure requests by GEC this year. He said this year was the first time he's been asked to file a disclosure. Last month, after being advised that his name would be submitted to the AG, Carlson demanded an apology from the Election Commission over what he called an unwarranted action bordering on harassment. Guam Regional Medical City has won reaccreditation from the Joint Commission following a 3-day inspection conducted in October. In a release, GRMC President and Chief Operating Officer Dr. Mike Cruz said the GRMC team met the demanding schedule the Joint Commission set, noting that the inspection had to be placed on hold midway through it to accommodate preparations for Super Typhoon Yutu. GRMC Board Chairwoman and CEO Margaret Bengzong said, "We passed our inspection with flying colors and have been fully and unconditionally reaccredited." The Joint Commission conducts surprise, in-depth inspections every 3 years. Veterans Day was actually yesterday, November 11th, which also marked the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I. However, the Veterans Day holiday is being observed today in all GovGuam offices. Federal offices, including the post office, are closed today. All public schools closed as well. A Veterans Day ceremony honoring the men and women from Guam who have served in the armed forces is scheduled for this morning at 11 o'clock at Epau Beach Park. Island leaders, local military representatives, as well as veterans groups will be on hand to take part in that ceremony. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
You know, I'll do that. Just something I saw in the newspaper this morning that I thought I'd make sure that you were aware of as well. We got this transition period that's going on between the outgoing administration and eventually an incoming administration that will be certified by the Guam Election Commission. But there's obviously still work that is going on. So and there's a job opening at Guam Memorial Hospital. Now, I don't know if this is one job or if it's one person who's going to be wearing a lot of hats. A hospital staff pathologist / laboratory medical director with Guam Memorial Hospital Authority in Tamuning. Minimum requirements, Doctor of Medicine degree or foreign equivalent, completion of a 3-year residency program in anatomic clinical pathology, board eligible or board certified in anatomic and clinical pathology, and be eligible for Guam medical licensure upon hiring. Diagnoses diseases by pathological examination of body tissues, body fluids, blood, urine, bone marrow, and performs necropsies. Send your CV to Rose Cruz, Acting Personnel Service Administrator at Guam Memorial Hospital. So it looks like they're going to be filling in some positions even before a new director might be named.
More than one, I would imagine.
And keep an eye on that, would you? 8:40 in the morning, 20 minutes away from 9 o'clock as well. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Portions of the program, in fact, this one here brought to you by iConnect, and we've got something cool and new happening for you over at iConnect. It is their Connect and Win giveaway. Every new 12-month mobile, internet, or push-to-talk customer is automatically entered into a drawing for a vacay for 2 in Manila. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. at a low 4.99% APR fixed for 1 year. It's a smart way to add ho 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 without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Yeah, I don't know about tea being able to reverse the effects of time, but maybe this one does. The Harvest Chicken Salad delivers on all the flavors of fall, all your favorite from our youth flavors, red and green apples, cranberries, the perfect combination of applewood smoked bacon, and they crumble some feta cheese on the inside of this. Give this an interesting little bark attached to it. Apple cider vinegar dressing and brown sugar walnuts. This fall season, fall for the new Harvest Chicken Salad at Wendy's.
Attention, federal employees and annuitants. Open enrollment begins on November 12 through December 10 for federal employees' health plans, with rates 19% lower than last year for Take Care's non-postal high option and access to PICA's best clinic, FHP Health Center. Our member perks are unparalleled. Take Care's supplemental wellness package provides cash incentives and access to 19 fitness partners, including the largest fully functioning fitness center in Hagåtña and Dedido. To learn more, call Take Care at 646-6956. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Thank you very much for all these suggestions for the Ray Gibson Show list of crap we want Lou and Josh to fix. A couple of new entries. We'll yak about that in a couple of minutes. But right now, our quick look at traffic. Not a whole lot all day long today. Well, it's a Veterans Day, observed holiday. You might see a little bit of traffic northbound Marine Corps Drive in between Route 3 and... where's that going to be going? Fatima Mobile, maybe a little bit on Marine Corps Drive. Actually, spilling onto Marine Corps Drive from the IT from Gibson's. Sorry, GPO. That's where my head's at today. From GPO on the Marine Corps Drive, you might see a little bit of traffic there. Nothing in front of Navy Hospital or Sumai or Anderson Air Force Base. That's right now. Traffic here on The Point. Konnichiwa! We'll be celebrating the 39th Japan Autumn Festival on Saturday, November 17th, 2 to 9 p.m. at the Governor Joseph Flores Beach Park or Ipao Park in Tumon. Parking will be available across Oka Payless with free shuttle service starting at 1:30 p.m. Advance tickets available now at the Japan Club of Guam office located on the first floor of PM Marine. Once again, the Japan Autumn Festival at Ipao Beach Park, November 17th from 2 to 9. Come, join us. For information, call 646-8066. Thank you to our Platinum sponsor, Bank of Guam, and the radio stations of Choice Broadcasting. .43, the studios of 93.3, open for business today. We got all kinds of folks that we want to line up with and talk to. I never did get the 5K conversation going. Looks like there's a couple this weekend. Triple J's Color Run, 2K, 5K, and the FD Run or Walk that they're going to be having. You can register at Custom Fitness. It's going to be at the actual school campus, and it will start, I believe, if they do it the way they've done it before, you start at Father Duenas, and then you go up towards the church, Santa Teresita Church, and somewhere around there is a turnaround. But I'm told that among the other reasons why people like to attend this is apparently there's beer there. Well, listen, anywhere there's Father Duenas alumni, trust me, there's going to be some beer floating around there. 8:44 in the morning. That's on the back page of today's Guam Daily Post, or yesterday's Guam Daily Post. On the front page of the yesterday Guam Daily Post, missing word raises property tax issues. And as I said before, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it has feathers, then it's probably a duck. Might be a goose, but it's more than likely to be a duck. And so I'm looking at this going, is this just another excuse from the Department of Revenue and Tax not to collect on the real property taxes that would apply to homes that are $1 million or more? Even though the language apparently doesn't say or more, I think that was the intent and the spirit of the legislation when B.J. Cruz was moving it through the legislature. The public auditor, B.J.'s on the line with me now. Good morning, B.J.
Good morning, Raymond.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yes.
See? You sound so serious. Good morning, Raymond. Come on, it's me, it's you. Come on, tell me what you do this weekend. Did you goof off, have fun?
Yes.
Yes. So you're not going to tell me on the air. Offline, you'll tell me what goofing off and fun. Now, have you met with anybody at the administration yet? An official meeting?
No.
Man, that's going to be interesting, though, when they call you in. And say, hey, let's get together. Let's see what we can do for each other. Public accountability and, new government coming in. And if they ask if there's anything that you want to have fixed, Because, it's like the new administration. What do you want us to fix? Do you already have any suggestions for them?
Rev and tax.
You know what? There's a rumor floating around. There's rumor floating around that among the names that, in fact, you recommended to run the Department of Revenue and Taxation, Joey Duenas. There's a rumor floating around that he might be tapped for that job.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. They really need somebody that's going to knows how to manage different divisions and get them to talk to each other and get a number of regulations through so that we can collect all the taxes.
It is collecting the taxes, but I look at it from a different perspective because I'm a consumer of the Department of Revenue and Taxation, vehicle registration, driver's licenses, business licenses, that kind of thing. If we could go in there and determine, at the very basic, what do we need software, accounting and automation software to do? And then build from there. Start adding in different modules, different components, and truly streamline the Department of Revenue and Taxation and make it extremely interactive. Not just for individuals in the Department of Revenue and Taxation and BBMR and the Department of Administration, but even consumers of RevTax.
I agree. I mean, it's unbelievable the audits that the OPA has done. And discovering that in our follow-up, the responses are all, they don't interface with another department. We don't interface with, and I'm like, then why do we exist?
And how is it so hard? That's the part that I really, really don't understand is why is it so hard to be able to do those things, to make it all. I mean, you can get on my phone. I've got an app, my First Hawaiian Bank app. I mean, it lets me see all of the different accounts that I have, and I can do internal transfers and I can do external transfers. And granted, maybe it's First Hawaiian Bank. It's big corporate data. It's big corporate IT. But Guam is a big corporate entity, if you will. There is big data, and there's data that you could mine and sell perhaps one of these days. Anyway, so we can I was thinking maybe that just maybe do something about getting the beggars off the street. Maybe there's something that Lou and Josh can do that will help take care of that minor annoyance that we have about living here on Guam. But getting back to the actual reason why I called you, so looks like they said the law just said $1 million. It didn't say at least $1 million or $1 million or more. And now he's worried that when they start to apply this increase in the taxes on that real property, that they'll get legally exposed.
Yes.
So are you buying it, counselor?
Well, no. I mean, in my days as a judge, I remember there was always this a doctrine of absurdity, and you can even Google it.
What is the word? Document what?
Doctrine of absurdity.
Oh, doctrine of absurdity.
Yeah. You don't even need to know that there's this doctrine. If you just Google absurd interpretation of the law, it'll bring up doctrine of absurdity, which reads, in law, strictly literal interpretations of statutes can lead to absurd results. Under the absurdity doctrine, American courts have interpreted statutes contrary to their plain meaning in order to avoid absurd legal conclusions. Not only is their interpretation absurd, but it's contrary to the discussion that we had on the floor. The history of the increase was to raise money, raise additional revenue, and we weren't saying that it was going to be only those pieces of property, only those properties that were exactly $1 million, not $1 million and 1 cent, $999. I mean, that really is absurd, and hopefully the Attorney General will quickly get them on
and put them onto the path where they should already be able to identify. In fact, you were able to identify the properties that these additional taxes would apply to.
Yes, they
and wait a second, they had to do it as well in order to get that information. Did they not have to look at real property rolls in excess of $1 million?
Yes, they.
So they were able to comply with those instructions, but now when in the actual application of it,
only the ones that are $1 million, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just really ridiculous. But
how absurd!
Yes, how absurd, and Google will tell you the courts don't like absurdity.
Doctrine in law, strictly literal interpretations of statutes can lead to seemingly absurd results. Under the absurdity doctrine, American courts have interpreted statutes contrary to their plain meaning in order to avoid absurd legal conclusions. It contrasts with literalism.
Yes, and if you just scroll up a little more, you'll see lots more articles on readings of that.
Oh, man. See, I should have gone to law school.
Well, you didn't even need to go to law school. All you had to do was Google, and, it's almost as bad as Evan Tax. Why can't they interface?
Have you seen the computers there? Maybe they don't get Google. Maybe they don't get Google. Maybe they're just still, and I guarantee that somewhere around there, somebody is lurching along from their day-to-day life with DOS.
I mean, I was watching TV this weekend, and on one of the news shows, they were talking about something, and they were just saying, I found this interesting thing. It's called Google, Google.
I love that. So I'm being told to ask you about the potential for a cat fight for leadership at the 35th Guam legislature.
Go there.
You're not going there?
I'm gone.
Oh, you've gone there?
Yeah, no. I'm not at the legislature anymore.
You're not at the legislature. So I wasn't referring to you being in the cat fight. I wasn't saying this was going to be a Judy versus BJ.
I'm not going to. In fact, just Friday, some guy came to the Office of Public Accountability, and it's walled off or it's closed, and you have to ring to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody rang, and my staff was in a staff meeting, so I was free in my office. So I got up and I went to the window, and this guy wanted to speak to me. He said, "Oh, you're just the person I wanted to see." So I said, "Oh, come in." And he came in and just was going on and on. He was going about 50 miles a minute. And I said, "Sir, I'm no longer a member of the legislature. You're going to need to go to see one of the senators." He says, "Yes, but your picture and your name is still on there." And I thought, oh, my God, that's right.
Oh, they haven't changed that. They need to put the acting speaker's name and contact information up there. I'm not saying to eliminate. I'm not saying pull BJ's likeness down like they were doing with Civil War statues, but at least an update on the website to help people through. That's. Now, what was he talking to you about? Was he interested in a particular piece of legislation?
Well, no. He wanted a repeal of the plebiscite law.
Which one? The whole thing?
Yeah, of who can vote. Because I don't know if you, did I send you a copy? There was a news story that New Caledonia had their plebiscite
Mm-hmm.
weekend. And
I was aware of it. I didn't get an article from you.
Oh. And the results were that independence lost. Independence lost.
Right.
And so he says, "Did you see what happened down there?" And I said, Sir, please. I'm no longer there. I'm only here doing audits to assure accountability."
You got me remembering something. There was a measure. In fact, somebody came up to me and really wanted to talk to me about it because they thought it looked like corruption. That there was a bill that was going to pay somebody for all of the waste that we had removed years ago, and they never got around to paying him. It was like $6 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted to talk to me about that. So I was wondering if that's something that had already gone through the public auditor's office.
No, that bill was introduced at the beginning of the session, and we never heard it, and it hadn't passed as of.
Well, they had a public hearing. I want to say they had a public hearing for it in the last couple of weeks.
After I left.
Yeah, after you left. Yeah, so I got to get with the author.
I'm not going to have any part of it.
Yeah, I got to get with the author and talk about it. 8:55 in the morning. It's always fun talking with you, Beej.
Okay, it's fun talking to you.
I'll talk to you later, and so you can still send me stuff. It doesn't have to be official. I mean, if you got something that you wanted to leak out there, so I could stay in front of the rest of the press, right?
Okay.
All right, Beej.
Well, I did call you that one time.
But that one time.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like we can get together, we can have lunch. You still like to take a lunch at Crust every once in a while?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, let's do that. All right, talk to you. It's the Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. 8:56, and yeah, I probably do take this program a little bit too personally. There might be some times where you go, do you have to find out what he ate? Do you really need to know if BJ Cruz had a good weekend? Yes. Yes, I do. And I believe that it is because of strong personal relationships that I have with some people, even the ones that don't like me, even the ones that will publicly go like, God, I hate that guy. But we're cool when we're together. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's like that. And I do kind of want to know what's going on. And it gives me a foundation from which I can have the rest of the conversation. Now, I will tell you that BJ is not my leak. And BJ has, in the many years that we've worked together, one way or the other, me on the radio and him at the legislature, wherever, we haven't always agreed on everything. And BJ has never given me anything that wasn't in the world of rumor. If he got it to me, it was already in the realm of fact and was about ready to get released and out in the community right away anyway. So he's not one of those leaking guys. We know leaking guys. And if you would like to leak something to me now,
I had to go to the doctor to make sure I wasn't a leaking guy.
I didn't know you wanted to talk about that on the air.
Just saying.
No, so you don't want to talk about that. No, every once in a while. We should, as a service to our listeners, we should talk about crap that goes on, certainly in our medical lives.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because, it's helpful.
Because, well, I mean, there might be people going, I had that too. I didn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't, talking about yours, though, I don't want to talk about yours.
No, when you look it up on Google and you have 0 hits, you're like, oh, wow.
Well, that's new. Oh, boy. Never look it up.
This one gets named after me.
That's the rule. Never look up any of your symptoms on Google because they all end in cancer and a painful, shriveled death. So I avoid that kind of thing. And when I'm really sick, I'll find Akimoto or Nguyen or Shea, and they'll tell me that it's not AIDS or a shrivelly death disease that you can get.
I find that if you drink enough whiskey, whatever you have will feel better.
Absolutely. I'm with you. 8:58 in the morning, 888-8255. Shelley says, oh boy, absurdity, Ray's new favorite word. Yes. How did you? I will use that, the doctrine of absurdity. I may want to ask Bob Klitsky to start his show today with after he does his little 2-amendment thing. I may ask Bob Klitsky to begin the show today with the concept of of absurdity, the doctrine of absurdity. Doesn't it sound like something that we've grown to perfect?
That could be a
here?
movie title. The Doctrine of Absurdity.
Well, the way you say it, anything can be a movie title. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG. Gotten you. Where do we get to go in the next hour? I have no idea. Look, this is what Monday looks like to me. This is the roadmap. This is the table of contents for my Monday here, and I've barely scratched the surface on any of this stuff. So yeah, there could be some stepping into deep streams of consciousness in the next hour. Or it could be all small talk. We'll see what happens after the news.
Reviewing the vote with a deadline. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. The state of Florida is starting recounts and races for a U.S. Senate seat and governor.
Republican Governor Rick Scott leading incumbent Senator Bill Nelson by 12,000 votes out of 8 million cast. He spoke with Chris Wallace this morning.
Bill Nelson's a sore loser. He's been in politics way too long, 42 years. He just won't give up.
Nelson's vying for a fourth term, and he's accusing the Scott team and Republicans of attempting to block legitimate votes from being counted. Quote, "We believe when every legal ballot is counted, we'll win this election." Florida's governor's race, where Republican Ron DeSantis leads by 0.41 of a percentage point over Tallahassee Democratic Mayor Andrew Gillum, that is also subject to a recount. The DeSantis lead, which he's maintained this lead since Tuesday night, is only 33,000 votes.
Fox's Phil Keating. A Thursday deadline has been set for those recounts. A day of speeches and solemn ceremonies Sunday with some 70 world leaders remembering those who made the ultimate sacrifice in what's been called the war to end all wars.
At the American Cemetery in Suresnes in the Paris suburbs, President Trump hailing the Allied victory in World War I.
On this day in the year 1918, church bells rang, families embraced, and celebrations, as you know, filled the streets like never before.
The president heading back to the United States. He's skipping a peace conference hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron. The French leader gave a speech earlier at another ceremony attacking nationalism. In Paris, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Residents of eastern Ukraine regions controlled by Russia-backed separatist rebels holding elections today for local governments. Those elections announced by both Kiev and Western governments. This is Fox News.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi asked about possible investigations once Democrats take over House control in January.
Well, we are responsible. We are not scattershot. We are not doing any investigation for a political purpose, but to seek the truth. So I think a word that you could describe about how Democrats will go forward in this regard is we will be very strategic.
Congresswoman Pelosi on CBS's Face the Nation. She's expected to again run to be House Speaker. Meantime, current House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy of California will likely stay in leadership as the new House Minority Leader.
We had to fight to win this majority back in 2010. I was a big part of that. That was a much bigger hill to climb. I believe we can win this majority back.
Kevin McCarthy on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo. A young NFL quarterback on fire, continuing to impress.
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been tearing up the NFL this season, and on Sunday he set a new record.
Mahomes throwing, end zone, touchdown, Tyreek Hill.
Sound courtesy of CBS. With that pass, Mahomes set a new franchise mark for most touchdown passes in a single season. He went on to add another later in the game to bring his total to 31 for the year as the Chiefs beat the Arizona Cardinals 26-14. Ryan Mayer, Fox News.
Actor Gerard Butler and Camille Grammer-Meyer of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills among celebrities whose homes have been damaged or destroyed in those Southern California wildfires. Alyssa Milano, Lady Gaga, Martin Sheen, and Kim Kardashian West also among those who have evacuated due to the wildfires. Those blazes destroying at least 177 homes, leaving at least 25 people dead. The entire town of Paradise, California has been wiped out. I'm Paul Stevens, and this is Fox News.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Stop pointing at me. That's rude. Oh, my God. Were you raised in a barn?
I wasn't pointing at you. I was telling you you're number one.
Oh, 9:05, portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by King's Restaurant. You go to King's and try the Salisbury steak. That's what the big deal is today because it's Monday. Tomorrow it will be beef steak. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it'll be pork sinigang. Thursday, it's going to be meatloaf. Say it with me now. Meatloaf! And Friday, it's beef tenactac. Now, I might not get as excited about beef tenactac as I do about meatloaf, but I will always make it sound like that because that's the key to the weekend. Beef tenactac equals Friday at King's equals the weekend. So just FYI, maybe that's what you're going to have for lunch today at King's.
The season of giving is here, and the stations of Choice Broadcasting want to give back. 93.3 The Point, Boss 104, Star 101, and Lux Guam present Charity of Choice. Each of our radio personalities have chosen a Guam charity that they would like to benefit.
And I chose Habitat for Humanity. Tune in daily to see how you can help.
Charity of Choice 2018 is brought to you by Choice Broadcasting Company, Lux Guam, American Water Tech, and the station that gives from the heart, 93.3 The Point.
And if you hold on a second, I'll actually give you Alicia's contact information so that you can contact her and find out different ways that you can help Habitat for Humanity. Alicia Uggan can be reached at 647-4667. That's 647-4667. 906, portions of the program brought to you by GRMC, first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, and American President Lines. Smarter containers, better containers. No, they're shipping the future.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Hey, let me take care of another client, just because I love her. Is Dr. Renee Kofund over at Guam Hearing Doctors. And the reason why, I take a special moment now and nod to acknowledge her participation in the program or acknowledge her participation as an advertiser on this radio station is because I hear us so much better. Because, number one, she gave me a hearing test and discovered that despite the number of birthdays I've actually had, my hearing is superior. And not just superior among other guys in my age group. I mean, it's superior, period. I've got great hearing, which was astonishing considering, A, the number of birthdays that I've had, and B, the number of years that I've worn headphones in one or both ears. I thought there was going to be, I thought it was going to be one of those things where you got to turn up the treble on something or turn down the bass or something. But as it turns out, don't need it. In fact, she arranged for me to get very special in-ear monitoring headphones, and these are from the same people that do them for like rock bands. And so when you're on the phone with me, depending on how good the phone connection is, I can hear the hairs in your nose whistle. So it's that good, and she's great. And if you just want to find out, where you are in the spectrum, and I'll bet, you can get all this stuff, contact them over at Guam Hearing Doctors. Just do like I do, just walk in. Just, hello, it's Raymond. So it's nice to have them along for the ride here. 9 after 9 as I make my way into the last hour of a decidedly holiday program. And I knew it was going to be like this because, this isn't the first holiday I've ever worked. And, sometimes the people that you really, really, really want to talk to they're not available because I partied all weekend. I'm sleeping in on a Monday. I don't have to do anything, right? So that's always fun. But still in all, in the final analysis of the program, there's so many topics out there that are fun to talk about and fun for me to ring out. That it's hard to avoid, and very, very hard to avoid. Now, one of my favorite things that occurred this weekend of what I thought was a pretty, very, very cool weekend. Got to goof off with my hash buddies on Saturday night, and I got to goof off with my regular running buddies on Saturday morning at the John Lee 5K that took place down in Agana. And can I just say, Jane, what a great job you guys did putting that together. Jane, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello?
Hi, I think I've got you at the end of the digital thread, but I've got a better signal coming in now. Yes. So anyway, congratulations on the John K. Lee 5K.
Oh, well, thank you very much, and thank you for running, and thank you to all of our runners and First Hawaiian Bank and all of our volunteers. We had some Father Duenas guys that helped us out, and thank you to United for the airline ticket and to everybody who ran. It really was a very nice 5K. It was our first time actually. We hosted it. Usually Fred Tupas, the supervision and management students, hosted it, but they did something else this year. So I felt like it went really smooth. And I learned about runners is they want to get in there, they want to run, they want to eat something and go.
Yep. So don't take forever doing the tabulations and get to the very, very cool prizes. And we're not going to be here all day long raffling off junk. So that was nice. And like I said, I love the course. Northbound on Marine Corps Drive for a mile and a half, and then southbound back to Chamorro Village. I did not come in first place in my division, and I want you to check the ID of the guy that did, because he doesn't look old enough to be a master. I mean a senior. I'm looking at the guy come through, and I'm going, who's this punk? What is this? Who are you, dude? But he beat me by a couple of minutes.
So best, right?
Yeah. Oh, I still got a PR. I still got a PR on the course. I'm really, really happy with that. And I was so glad that you snapped a picture of it, because then I could use that on Facebook myself. But as usual, it's not about me. It's about the people that did win. Congratulations to Ben Middlebrook, who did outstanding, 17 minutes, 22nd, and Nierva Trixia Nevera with a time of 23 minutes, 42 seconds.
Yeah, young woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
They smoked us all.
First female to cross the finish line. Impressive race and a great time again was had by all. So congratulations to GCC and First Hawaiian Bank on that. But the other reason why I called you is a story that is floating around. I guess folks over at PDN are asking after. There was a big deal made of the rolling out of free education for GCC and the Trades Academy, and I guess they're waiting for the start button to get going on that, because they've already signed up and they're just kind of waiting now. And there's at least a couple of people that are concerned that maybe it was just some kind of a re-election stunt.
Well, it was a grant that the Lieutenant Governor's office got with their grant agency over there, and is actual grant. And we have at GCC. We have 44 hospitality and tourism slots, 18 cook certification slots, and 20 food service professional slots that we are going to be doing. Now, the grant...
what is that noise that Ken's making? Is that Ken making that noise in the background?
No, that would be my 1-year-old grandson. I'm sorry, you have to hear that.
It's a holiday. No, it's perfect. I love that. I love that.
He's eating Cheerios and bananas. So,
sweet.
Anyway, we have these slots, and to the Lieutenant Governor's defense, the grant didn't come through until after our semester had started. So right now, they are still taking applications, and I will actually find this out tomorrow and give you a call back or put out a media release, because if people are asking about it, I think they're still taking applications. You have to call the Lieutenant Governor's office, and I'm hoping that they're going to delay the start, because it's already November. They're going to delay the start till the regular semester.
I see.
So, but it's 44 hospitality and tourism slots, 18 cook certification slots, and 20 food service professional slots. Now, the food service professional, this isn't your entry level. This is kind of managerial, a lower managerial level. And when you complete this program, you get a National Restaurant Association certification. And for the hospitality and tourism program, you get the ALEIF, the American Hotel and Lodging Management Education Association. I think you get that certification also. So you come out of this with certification too.
And the neat thing about having a certification is you got a piece of paper that you can take generally anywhere, and depending on the size of the kitchen or facility that you want to work with, they will recognize what that certification means and what you are automatically qualified to do.
Right. Now, the Lieutenant Governor's office, like I said, is handling all the registration. So you call their office, And then as to when the courses actually start, I am not sure, but I will find out, and I will.
Yeah, because like I said, I guess there's some people that maybe have misinterpreted and thought that they'd be able to start taking advantage of it right away. Like as soon as they sign up, here's your books, go to class.
Right. Well, you can't, obviously, everyone has to start the cohort at the same time. They can't just start the class, and we don't have people running, the different things every day. Yeah. And Valor is telling you all about it too. So no, it is an actual free tuition program that the Lieutenant Governor's office got a grant for. So.
There you go. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to. I wanted to get some clarity on the issue because, as I said, I read the article and I thought, well, there's more to this than meets the eye. And since I know that you're with GCC and you're literate on the program, I thought I'd give you a ring. And now that I have, go back to enjoying your day off.
Well, thank you very much, and happy Veterans Day to all our veterans. And I watched the Saturday Night Live video this morning where Pete Davidson apologized to Lieutenant Commander Crenshaw.
Great.
I think he said something derogatory about him in the last week, and they made him apologize. And it really was a great segment. But the Lieutenant Commander Crenshaw said that we say never forget, and so never forget.
Nope. You get it. There's some odd lines that are being drawn in this country these days, and I think there are things that used to we would automatically recognize as uncivil that people find amusing these days. 9:16, just the way it is, huh? 9:16. There's my friend Jane. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Have an outstanding rest of your day, and on behalf of the veterans that are listening, not one myself. I never had the privilege of service, but I've worked with so many people that have, and know a thing about them and their characters that were amplified and maybe even tested in their service to the country. So I take the opportunity to recognize as often as I can them and their contributions, and I think you should as well today. On the WhatsApp now, Brad's sending me a note here. There is something we were talking about Herbalife, or not Herbalife. We were talking about this thing that says drink tea and it will make your teeth shinier and reverse the age, and it has antioxidants in it, and it's better for you than caffeine. And I'm going, wait, better, not caffeine, but better for you than coffee. And inside the picture, there was something that looked like an Herbalife container. Brad was able to find it, and so there's a picture of herbal concentrate, something powder mix. And it looks like that powder goes into something that looks like tea. So there. That's supposed to be this miracle that will make my cells regenerate.
Of course, being
don't they regenerate anyway?
Yeah, but this slows when you get older. Me being the conspiratorial guy I am, I think this is just the British trying to get back in our business again.
Yeah. Start drinking more tea. Yeah, drink more tea. That's right. And it's like the cows in the commercials for Chick-fil-A. Eat more chicken. I love those guys. 9:18 in the morning. So you got that that's floating around. Let me see what else is on the WhatsApp. I was talking about this last week, and I finally found a copy of it. Thanks very much, Hank. As in Hank Rice, who's going to be in the program at some point this week to talk about Akimatsuri, which is the Japanese words for autumn festival. And we were talking about the possibilities, and the reason why he sent this along is the possibilities of that there is going to be legalized recreational marijuana. In the elections that took place stateside last week, there were a lot of issues beyond just who is going to be the governor, who's going to be the mayor, who's going to be the senator. In the states, they wanted to talk about all kinds of things, LGBT access laws, and they wanted to talk about equal pay issues, and they wanted to talk. I mean, a couple of states were talking about legalized recreational marijuana. We've done the medicinal. We have medicinal here. And we're crazy about the program, and we want to extend this now that we have medicinal. We want to extend it into the realm of personal recreation. X number of plants that you can grow, where you can grow them, and the other caveats, like just because we say smoking dope is legal, it doesn't mean that it's okay for your job. So if it's already not allowed on the job, nothing that the state does by way of statute or law will change that. If you cannot drive a bus because you are stoned out of your gourd, even though the state says it's legal to smoke and be in possession of marijuana up to this level, that doesn't mean that you can drive a truck while you're stoned.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to stay that happy and be unemployed at the same time.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually something is going to get old.
Yeah.
Something where you just go, nope, can't handle it. 9:20 in the morning, and so somebody had sent me a video, and I looked at it and I said, "My God, this is going to be our future, isn't it?" Yeah, on this one, it's okay to turn up the sound.
Excuse me.
In fact, you want the sound turned up for this. Let me just back it up here and click it onto the screen so that everybody can see it.
Excuse me. Have you been smoking any pot today?
No.
Well, you've been stopped here for 15 minutes. Can you tell me why that is?
We're waiting for the stop sign to turn green.
I just know we're going to have stories like that when it's going to happen. I just know it. Come on. You want them to. Don't be like, oh, that's just, there it is, the harbinger of things to come. That's going to be our future. What is it you're saying, Lady D? They can't even straighten out the medicinal products for human use. So on Bob Klitsky's program last week, I think it was Bob, and towards the end of it, Carl was on, and they were talking about, it was the never-ending, always amusing conversation about the Guam Regional Transit Authority, which used to be Guam Mass Transit Authority, until they realized they weren't moving a whole lot of people in any kind of mass quantities at all. So they changed it to something that was a little more innocuous and not as noticeable when they fail in their job. Hey, we didn't say we were mass transit. We said we were regional traffic. Yeah, and so we're getting people in the different regions. We're helping them transit, but not mass. And a point that Carl made was, there's just some things that our population, even though we think it's a lot, 165. You want to take it up to 170 if you want to. We'll just round it up to 170,000 people. That's a lot of people, right? No, it's not a lot of people. It's 170,000 people. There are stadiums that hold more people than there are that live on Guam. There are actual sports stadiums in the world that hold more people than there are that live on Guam. And so the point that I'm going to make is there are things where we've got the scale for. And we didn't, I believe, have the scale for the medicinal marijuana plan as pursued by the Department of Public Health and Social Services. It was a good plan. I read it. I thought it was a fine plan to get us started. It talked about being able to roll it out, being able to maintain reasonable control and security over the raw and mature product. It talked about being able to maintain licenses for the dispensaries, and in order to assure the safety and the potency, thus the efficacy, it envisioned a lab that we could take our samples of our materials to and have tested, which would have been great if there were 2 million people that lived here and we had the scale, the economies that would be able to support it. And we didn't. And nobody's going to come out here and build a million. You know what? And if they did pay the price for the lab or the dispensaries or for the growing facilities and all of the things that you were supposed to do. I mean, these things, you got to have them LEED certified, and you got to use this kind of light, and it's got to have this kind of security system, and just all of these things. We would be able to come out with joints that cost about $200 a piece. As opposed to, hey, I know a guy lives down the street, and if you're nice to him, he'll give you one for free. He'll give you one. Just say, hey, yeah, I'm your neighbor. Shoot, dude, let's smoke. Want to smoke?
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing, man.
And even if you're not tight like that, even if you're not bros, bro, he'd probably sell you a marijuana joint for what, $20-25? Is that the going rate for it? You got to find a cousin and ask. So the whole idea behind getting this thing set up. Oh, and don't forget, we still have to pay taxes on it. They would still find a way to put some kind of a tax burden on somebody, because that's what we want to control this stuff. So we could not get the medicinal products out which is why the stopgap as introduced by Louise Munya and Bob Klitsky and I probably disagree on this, and maybe it's not because of what it accomplished, or it was the way that it went about being accomplished. Is I'm kind of glad that they went and did it in that direction. But still, amazingly, not a whole lot of people going to the Department of Public Health to sign up for the plan. Even though they can now. You got a doctor, and the doctor can make a, quote, recommendation. And once you've got that for your particular malady, whatever your ailment is, you should be able to take that over to DPW, the Department of Public Health and Social Services, and apply. In fact, you can go to their website now and apply. You can get the papers. So you already have that filled out. But I don't think anybody's gone through. And then the other part of it is, even if you are granted, even if they say, yes, you can go someplace and start growing your own marijuana plants, the question is, where do I find the seeds?
Well, the other thing is, technically, the law that they passed does not legally decriminalize the substance here on this island. So you could go.
That's a federal conversation, right?
But it makes a difference, and it's one of the reasons why the people aren't turning out to get these licenses, because
are they paranoid?
There you can get. Well, of course, because there you go. You get your little plant started because the government of Guam said you could, and next thing DEA says, "Hey, brother, check this out. That's a Schedule 1 you grow in there, man."
So we used to do. So we used to do when we'd have those That 70s Show moment.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike, there's your mom. Mike, your mom's here. Where's she supposed to pick you up? Oh, my God. Nobody wants to garden, Nate says. Nate, I'm with you. I'm with you. This is a throwback to the conversation that we had last week. Okay, and the conversation goes like this. I know how to make my own beer. I know how to do that. I have the knowing, as they say in that movie. I got the knowings on how to make my own beer. And it would not take all that much time, effort, or money to be able to put that infrastructure back together at my house. You know, Mr. Beer Keg, you do a couple of things with some cane sugar and some raw sugar, and they give you a can of wort. And you put everything together. If you can follow simple instructions, you can use Mr. Beer to make beer at your house. And it's tasty, but it takes weeks. It takes me 3 minutes to walk to the store and get a 6-pack, a 12-pack of Heineken. And it's already cold. There's no primary fermentation process. There's no secondary fermentation process. You don't have to sit around and put beer in those big, hugely, almost comedy bottles that they give you.
Yeah, and then you got to come up with a name. Because you can't just make beer for the sake of making beer. You got to name it. You know, raise something.
Yeah. So then I'll feel compelled to tell everybody, well, I brew my own beer. I don't go to the store and buy that. Well, I brew my own beer, don't you do?
Up while you drink your mug.
Up. Yes, I'm drinking. It's not a beer, it's an ale. It's more of an ale. I love people. What does IPA stand for? How do you spell IPA? I don't know, but I sure like to drink it. No, really, what does it stand for? Shut up. Don't ask me hard questions like that. I just want to drink trendy beer. This is IPA on it. Yeah, okay, but what really does it stand for? Shut up, I hate you. That's how you get into it. 9:28 in the morning. So no, I'm with you, Nate. Nobody wants to garden. I wouldn't want to garden. I'd like to go and buy mine ready to make. And if it meant that I had to go and line up over at Public Health and Social Services for the privilege of being able to do that, fine. And even if not, if it came down to recreational marijuana, like I said, my eyes are completely open on just about everything these days, and I frankly no longer care whether anybody wants to get high or not, as long as you're not driving a car and otherwise being a nuisance to society, no worse than the ones that we already have, then I'm okay with it.
You do know what IPA stands for?
India something.
No, when you drink it, I pee a lot.
Look it up. See, now you started it. Look it up. What does IPA actually stand for? I understand the concept, but what does it stand for? And why is it that everybody now, I only drink an IPA. When I go to the craft festivals, I only drink the IPA beers. Whatever. I drink the one that tastes like Coors. Because I like that one. 9:29 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. Indoor growing is harder than outdoor. Yeah, probably more expensive, too, because you got to have those grow lights. And don't forget, no matter what, it seems to me that all of the rules say if you're going to be growing it for whatever purposes at your house, it has to be indoors, cannot be visible from the streets. We don't want people going in and breaking into your house and essentially stealing your stash of stuff. I was going somewhere when I started that. Do you remember why? How did I get into that conversation?
I was looking up IPA.
What does it stand for?
India Pale Ale.
There we go.
Just a generic name for pale ales of that.
But what's the history? Why is it India
There's a
Pale
lot of
Ale?
history there. Well, we'll get back to that in the next section.
Okay, I know what that meant.
I
I can
can
take a
35
hint.
minutes to read it.
There's a shorter version of it. There's a short, Cliff's Notes for snob wannabes. What is it? There's a thing that says, because it has to do with the trip and getting something to India. By the time it got there, it would already be skunky. So they came up with a new formulation, a new way to do it. So it wasn't as spunky as that. Personally, I like a spunky beer. 9:30 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by our pals. Don't laugh at spunky. Stop it. This is not the third grade. iConnect giving away instant prizes with each new 12-month plan through the New Year's. You'll also be entered to win a vacay for 2 to Manila or incredible weekly prizes when you connect and win with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
What? Wendy's? You want me to do sauce? Well, we're taking requests now for which Wendy's live read you want me to do. You want me to do? I can totally do. You know what would be great? In fact, I've had this. So they've got this new fall salad. It's got 2 different kinds of apples in it, and there's cranberries in it, and a vinaigrette, and feta cheese, and bacon, and you get the chicken, and it's really, really good. My problem, though, is it doesn't fill me up. There's a lot of salad there. Trust me, there's a lot of salad there, but it's still not enough. Growing boy. I got PRs to catch. I got stuff I got to do, and I need the energy. I need the proteins. I need all of this. So I always get it with a burger. And so last time I went and I got the fall salad and I got one of those burgers with the sauce on it, which has got the same bacon that they put in the salad, and it's got all kinds of flavors on it. And I couldn't eat both of them. I was close. I tried. That was my quest, to get the salad and the sandwich going in me at the same time. Couldn't do it. So that's my challenge for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Swing by Wendy's and order not just the salad, the fall salad that they've got, but order that and at least a single of their sauce and bacon cheeseburger classic. Try it at Wendy's for lunch today.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho, ho, ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On Facebook an inordinate amount of time. Probably, for somebody I want to say in my, but I need it for work. That's gonna be my excuse. And it says here that Ronnie, Katharina, and 2 others accepted your friend requests, and this is where it gets weird. There's a Tabitha who's accepted my friend request. I don't know anybody on Facebook named Tabitha. I don't recall clicking on anybody's timeline and asking for Tabitha specifically to be my friend. And I've noticed that's happening a lot. I am getting a whole bunch of these things where there are people that are saying, yes, I accepted your friend request, and I'm going, dude, I haven't been that drunk. I haven't been sending texts. I have not been sending friend requests as far and wide. So I'd kind of like to go back on this. You know why I think that it's weird is because this is right around the 2016 elections. I was getting the same thing. I was getting a lot of messages from people that said that they were accepting my friends. And then, you know, I'd start. Then obviously I start getting, you know, they start showing up in my stream, and I'm looking at these guys going, "There's no way that we could possibly be friends." I mean, because they had just stupid attitudes about everything. I mean, they were either hardcore right or hardcore left. They weren't somewhere down in between. So I'm like, nah, I don't think that's right. So I was unfriending a lot, and it looks like I'm probably going to have to start getting around to unfriending a lot as well, because there's weirdos out there. And trust me, look, if I'm saying that there's weirdos out there, there are two-headed weirdos out there in the world. There's a guy, you've seen this, you've seen the story, but maybe you just looked at it and said, I'm too busy to read this. Maybe somebody else will read it for me and explain it to me. Man who is 69 identifies as 49. You've seen the story. I guarantee you looked at it and just rolled your eyes and didn't. So this guy in the Netherlands has begun a legal battle to be recognized as being 20 years younger than his actual age, so he can go back to work and achieve greater success with women on Tinder. Emil Ratelband argues that if transgender people are allowed to change sex, and there's trans people listening right now going, oh my God, why is it always about us? Leave us out of it. Take our name out of your mouth. But he says if they should be allowed to change their sex, he should be allowed to change his date of birth because doctors say he has the body of a 45-year-old. Doctors said he's got the body of this. So Ratelband is born on March 11, 1949, but he says he feels at least 20 years younger and wants to change his birth date to March 11th, 1969. He says, when I'm on Tinder and it says I'm 69, I don't get an answer. When I'm 49, with the face I have, I'll be in a luxurious position.
You know, doctors used to tell me the same thing they're telling him about 10 years ago.
Yep. So I'm just saying, there it is, man. It's the wave of the future. So what else should we be able to change? Zodiacs. I think we should be able to change our zodiac sign. I think there ought to be a way that, you know, when you're bored with it and you go, okay, you know, being a Taurus has been all right.
But you identify more as a Libra?
Yeah, yeah.
Something.
Shelley, what's your sign?
I like my sign. I've got a cool sign. Many talented people.
I forget what her sign is. She's a December kid.
Capricorn? I think. I'm not a sign guy.
It's the first one. It's the first of the December signs.
Yeah.
It's been like a late November, early December sign. But she is, and a lot of people think I have fun. A lot of people think I know how to have a good time. So with hers, she's in the zodiac category where there's like no filters. And if you question her on it, it's trouble. Don't you question me and my ability to have fun?
Sagittarius?
There it is. So Ismail, are you saying Sagittarius because you know what my sister's sign is, or is that yours too? Because there's a couple that are just, you know what? You can't talk to them because they're always right. I want to be that sign. Yeah. I want to be that one. So I'm one of those guys. This is sorry, a little bit. I told you we get personal. There's just small talk on the radio today anyway. But so you get into one of these things where like guys will say what a great football team this was, or what a great movie that was, or this is a great car, and I'm like, why? And they can't really put their it is. It's a great car. And even after they get recall notices for like, you know, airbags and tires and exploding gas tanks, they're still like, no, this is a great car. I don't get it. Why do you? So I've never been that guy. I want more empirical evidence. If you tell me something is a great car, I want to know why it's a great car. That was a great movie. Okay, why was it a great movie?
You want an objective opinion on why it was great.
Castaways with Tom Hanks in it, right?
Great movie.
Why?
Oh, it's got a good story. Got a good actor.
It had a lousy ending. It was a terrible end.
No, it was a terrible end. Yes,
but then he did that movie about being the guy in the airport, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Right. So fine movie, right up until the end, and you go, I want give me my time back. I'm not. What was the Lost in Translation with Bill Murray? Which I've gone through some parts of it recently because the end always baffled me. I was always baffled at the end. Oh, they don't stay together. Or wait, maybe they do stay together. What is that? There's this hug at the end. right? And he goes and he finds the girl, and she's the newlywed, and he's old guy, unhappy marriage in the States, and he go and there's hugging, and she cries, and he whispers something to her at the end of the movie, and you don't know what it is, and you don't know what happens. And I'm going, I love the entire movie. It's that part there where it was supposed, but everyone's, oh, what a great movie. I'm like, why? Why was that a great movie? Sagittarius says no. They know why something was great and why it wasn't. I just have never been able to follow along. 20 minutes away from 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, you're going, come on, Ray. There's got to be some kind of newsy thing that we can spend the last few minutes of the program. Nope. What do you want? There's the Kenjo arrest and the allegations of terrorism. And you know how much I know about that? Nothing. Where's Paul? Paul's got the day off.
Yeah,
right? You got that. You got the boneheads, the jugheads that took the Ben and Yan's van out for a joyride yesterday
and got away.
And apparently got away. And so I want more on that.
How are you able to get away here? Oh no, I don't know, man.
To run into the boondocks. I have no idea what they found a trail or something like that. And so we got a couple of those interesting stories. The truth will out. We'll find out what it is and get back to you. On the sadder side, we've got a couple of pedestrians, separate accidents, lost their lives. You think about unnecessary deaths around here. And I'll give you one. I don't want to drown. I don't want to get stabbed. I don't want to burn. I also don't want to unnecessarily lose my life because the place I was walking didn't have adequate streetlights. The routed road that we're talking about, there's a lot of traffic. When you think about it, numbered, routed road. It's not like we've got a whole bunch of those around here. But most of the time, up and down these routed, numbered roads, there is not enough light to be able to see people on the side of the road, and there's virtually nothing there that separates them from the roadway. Little white stripe down the side. And if you think you've got security because there's a little white stripe on the side, forget it. You got major distracted driving problems around here, and I'm one of them. I'll tell you that for nothing right now. But we got a couple of people that I think unnecessarily, maybe up to a dozen people, unnecessarily lost their lives here because the places they were subjected to walking through for whatever reason we could not see. And so I'm going to put that down on the list of crap I want Lou and Josh to fix. There's not enough time in the lame duck administration that we've got here, not enough time in the lame duck administration that we're going to have at the legislature where anybody's going to be able to come up with one light bulb idea that resolves these problems and is able to put it in place. But as I've been saying, and I hope I'm not wrong. I got my fingers crossed I'm not wrong, guys. And Lee Weber writes about it in today's news. And Vince Akimoto's got another editorial talking about Wonder Woman. And maybe what you were going for there was Wonder Women. There are women, the supermajority of Democrats, supermajority of women, and a woman at Adelup. If everything goes the way it's going to go over at the Election Commission, there's a great potential here for the most productive bunch of years that Guam has seen in decades. In decades. So I know everybody going to be looking, well, you got to fix GMH. Yes, we'll fix GMH. You got to fix the Simon Sanchez. We'll fix Simon Sanchez. And we'll work on solid waste. And we'll work on the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. We'll work on getting more cops in the streets. We'll work on getting more teachers in the schools and solve all of those big problems that we've been dealing with. And you know what? Good. I want those problems to get solved. Nobody is giving you a pass on those. But if it takes you a while to figure out who the right person is to handle Guam Memorial Hospital, okay. While you're doing that, can you put some more lights on the road? While you're doing that, can we find a way, finally, to get these beggars off the streets? If you need money, there's no reason, I don't think, why anybody should go and be starving in this town. There's all kinds of programs out there. There's a massive, incredible number of safety nets. Some people don't want to avail themselves of that because, frankly, I think it would cut into their independent lifestyle. And it probably would mean less cash in their pockets. Because you see these beggars up and down the roadways our routed streets. Plenty of light for them, right? But you see these guys out there, and it looks like it's organized, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like one of those things where there's a guy at the top of this, and he just takes people from one place to another, and they stand out in the street corner for a while and look the other way on what they may look like to the rest of the community, because that little bleach jar has got 20s in it, baby. It's got 10s in it, baby. It's got 5s in it. And that'll buy vape, and it will buy beer, and it will buy some processed canned meat and maybe a meal someplace today, and then tomorrow, and then the next day after. They just go through this process all over again. And it's what they are doing out there on the roadways, in traffic in a lot of cases, is illegal. And we seem to have been impotent in our ability to take care of that problem. Maybe because it wasn't a priority for the last administration. Well, we have a new administration coming in, and maybe they can make it a priority for them. Maybe that will be one of the little crappy things that we've gotten used to for far too long here on Guam that this administration can take care of. I've got more. I've got more. And somebody will say, no. No, I can hear Lou Leongoro saying it now. No, Ray, we're not going to have a Super Bowl Monday, Ray. Josh, Super Bowl Monday. You know, we're going to have. I almost guarantee it now. I almost guarantee it. Do you want to do a bet? You remember that bug I haven't eaten yet because I said there was going to be a runoff? There's still some counting left to do, so that could still happen. But you know, I'm going to add another bug to the list of reasons why I'm going to eat a bug. Bets. Are you ready? Because I'm almost 1,000% positive. It would surprise me if it didn't. But Eddie Jerome Baza-Calvo, as a parting gift to the good and hardworking people of the government of Guam, will declare Black Friday a holiday. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Wow. What fiscal crisis? Take the day off. Enjoy yourselves. Go shopping. It's how we're going to ramp into Christmas, for heaven's sakes. We're going to make it so you got that new credit card. The bank sent you a new credit card. Got that gold lettering on the top of it. Well, let's rub that off. Come on, throw that in. But just run that to the machine here. You stick it. You can rub off faster now because you actually have to stick your credit cards into the machine. I'm not happy about that. It's slower, isn't it? It feels slower when you give them the credit card, and frankly, you don't get to give them the credit card anymore. Jack and I have had a conversation about this, and it kind of annoys me because there's the items that I purchased, there's the amount that I have to pay, and what I've always done in my life is I've either taken cash out of my wallet or I've taken my credit card out and I hand it to the person.
Right.
They don't want you to do that anymore. Yeah. They just here's the number and there's the machine.
Have you done the POS at Payless?
I like that one.
It's good. I like it. You just put your card in, put in your code, and then pull it out, and all they got to do is just push a couple of buttons, and boom.
But that's not my favorite part about it, though. My favorite part?
Yeah.
They email me my receipt.
Ah, indeed.
They email me my receipt. I love that. I love that. I don't want the paper receipt anymore.
Right.
I don't think I need it. You know, if there is a problem, if there's a discrepancy, if it doesn't look, first of all, if it doesn't look right, I'll say it. That number's too high.
Yeah, it's
for what I got.
Of you. Yeah.
Wait a second. I didn't get the octopus this time, so that number should be at least $11 lower. I know how much the octopus is at Payless. But anyway, so there's like you get like that, and then they email it to me. I'm becoming less and less more and more aggressive about making reference to how much paper I get back. This is why we went to credit cards, so that we could become a paperless, cashless society, right? But anymore, when you go to a restaurant and you give them the credit card, they give it back to you with the printed bill of fare. This is what you ordered. This is what you ate. So you have that, and then they have the merchant copy, and then they give you your own copy of the credit card thing. And I'm like, I don't need any of this paper. You need the merchant copy. I'll sign off on that because you need that. Yeah. But even then, I figure under a certain amount, why? So just go ahead and put the thing in the thing, and if we're finished, we're finished. I know how many beers I drank. I know how much food I ate. I knew who I was with. So I don't know that I necessarily need that. I mean, if you just show it to me on the rolling order that you've got, then I think we ought to be able to square off. But there's, 3 pieces of paper at the end of the transaction. I'm going, this is defeating the whole purpose behind why we went in this zone. So ponder all of that. So I was talking about Super Bowl Monday.
Yes.
So if everybody can get the day off because it's Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, which I want to change.
Yeah.
I wanted to change that. Remember last week I was saying that we ought to just take Thanksgiving and put it on Saturday.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah. And Halloween, too.
and never just, why do we have to have a holiday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let's do that. Jerry Roberts coming back into the studio. He just cannot get enough of this place. Have you noticed that? Just any excuse to hang. He's like me when I was starting out in radio. Any excuse to hang out at the radio station. I'd stay there until they chased me out. They just, Gibson, you cannot stay here. There's real work being done. No, but I'll change the paper in the machine.
I'll do all of it.
I'll wipe everything will be wiped.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Dude, I was hooked. I just always wanted to be in radio, and when they finally let me through the doors, I was afraid they wouldn't let me back in if I left.
Is it a slow part of the program?
Yeah, it's the 9 o'clock hour.
Oh,
it's the 9 o'clock hour on Veterans Day holiday.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is the slow part. This is the small talk portion of the show. Extra.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we've been talking about all kinds of stuff, up to and including still the crap that we want the Lou and Josh administration to fix. I've had a couple of people add things to it. Let's get rid of the beggars on the streets. Super Bowl Monday. Can we not? If we can have Black Friday be a paid holiday, then can we just have Super Bowl? In fact, Super Bowl didn't even need to be a paid holiday. Just take the day off. There's just no requirement, nothing mandatory about coming to work.
People do anyway. What's the difference?
Well, it'd be, but the government would look favorably upon it.
I see.
And then we could turn it into some really big deals.
Gotcha.
Super Bowl Monday on Guam. It'd be like a holiday.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they have the Akimatsuri, the Japan Autumn Festival. We do the same thing down there, massive screens, right?
Yeah.
Drinking beer, coffee, and whatever, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Only because there are not enough holidays in Guam.
No, I think we should have more. Got to do something about the trash in the parks, potholes, speed bumps, and some more flashy lights at bus stops, places like that. So that
I would give it all away if they can just fix the streets for a while.
Well. Yeah, but that's too much for. Well, many of I was trying to look at things that DPW wouldn't have to do as much of, because they've got a huge mandate, because in a lot of cases outside of the utilities, that DPW is the place where people get with the government.
I get you.
Yeah, and there is a lot for them to do, but there have to be other places where we can ask of our government to lubricate things for us better. Rev and tax.
Yeah.
Rev and tax. You like lining up at Rev and tax?
Don't have to anymore.
You still got to get in a line. It's a shorter line.
Well, see, I have never done
You've never done the senior citizen?
I've never done the Monopco trick. Never done that. I think I tried once, but there was like two people.
Oh my God!
There's only 2 people there, so what's the difference?
Because you've earned your right to stand in a particular line. I do it. I've earned it.
Let me just say something.
It took me 55 years to be 55 years old, and I finally got there. I'm standing in the line that says I'm 55. I can stand in that line.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just say this: I am one of these people, and that maybe only just a few of us. I've really never had any problems with GovGuam and lines. I seem to go there at times when there's not a lot of people. I'm serious. I've really never had a big problem with standing in line.
Maybe, you know where that might come from? It might be from the morning show stuff. Might be because you get into a mindset, and you know from being locked in a studio for doing a morning show 4 hours and then hanging out the radio station for a couple extra hours. You know when the good times are afterwards to do afternoon errands.
Could be.
Could
well be. I just never had problems with that kind of.
888-8255. I got to take a quick break, and then we'll see what John's got to say about whatever small talk part of the stream that you jumped into. We'll pick it up from there. Be right back.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Circle K now offers Pop's Bake Shop products, cream cheese rolls, malasadas, delicious donuts, and more. Come see why Pop's Bakery is a Southern gem. Circle K, take it easy. Circle K now offers Bento Chef Sushi. Enjoy a selection of sushi, maki, and musubi made fresh every day. Circle K, take it easy.
The Ray Gibson Show for just a couple more minutes. Hey, Johnny!
Hey, good morning. How are you?
You know what? I'm good. I'm working today, which is nice. You know, my parents used to like that. They'd like, turn on the radio and just make sure I survived the weekend if I was there Monday.
Okay, good.
So,
no, I just wanted to call, man, chime in about the pedestrians, and I'm hearing a lot of people talking about, lighting and stuff like that. But, what about having the violation of jaywalking be enforced? I mean, I live in Machechi and travel along Jigo a lot, and just they cross everywhere and anywhere. And, it makes me wonder, why are our police officers not enforcing this? Talked to one police officer, he goes, well, we could enforce it and fine them, but majority of them won't pay. I said, well, if they don't have the financial means to pay, then, hey, community service.
Yep.
Why not? Because the jaywalking out here is just, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, and then we pile on a couple of other things. As everybody, it always happens. I'll get that moment of panic as I'm driving home, and I look at a figure. I look at something on the road. Sometimes at the last possible second, I realize, my God, I could have killed a guy here. Because you don't see them. They're wearing black pants and black shirts, and it's dark, and they're walking down unlit roads too close to the highway, and those kinds of things will happen. We got to also do a better job of separating people from the roadways as much as possible.
I agree, and I brought this up before when they started doing the whole adding in the traffic light down in Agana, and I'd thrown in the idea of putting an overhead pedestrian crosswalk. And, the thing I don't like is that it's always highlighted after somebody gets hit and dies. If you put in an overhead crosswalk, that's a lot safer than putting in another traffic light, because Lord knows we've got already way too many traffic lights on Guam.
Well, as you've heard me try to do this, every time they start talking about putting up another traffic light, I say, you can put a traffic light there, but you have to take one of the existing ones away.
Impossible. They don't do that. They just add. So my whole thing is, yes, separate them. I spent some years in Hawaii, and they separate the streets, the highway and everything from the residents by putting up a fence. A little bit nicer than the one that you keep mentioning in front of Jeff.
The god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence on Marine Corps Drive. Yeah, because it's not hard to make them nicer, is the point. It's not hard to make them nicer. These guys went with the cheapest, least thought went into it solution, and we're stuck with it all these years.
Yeah, unfortunate. And, even at that, why are the government agencies not holding these installers accountable to make sure that it's done right? Either from that or one of the companies up here just put down some new asphalt up in Jigo, and that thing is so bumpy.
Yeah, what's the word? Liquidated damagers. Who's signing off on all of that? And when there are problems, it's like they never go after them to either pay us to get it fixed or fix it themselves. I'm with you. And so here we are at the beginning of the administration, John. So that's I'm just putting out the word here. There's a lot of crap that we've had to put up with and learn to live with. And frankly, now that we're in the beginning of what feels like a new government, can we work on that too? Can we work? We'll fix the hospital. We'll fix Sanchez. We'll get more cops out there and solve government corruption. But can we get rid of the steel plates on the road too?
Very right. I agree. I really do hope.
Well, think about some more. I'm going to be back on the radio tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. The radio station is KUSG, Hagana, headquarters for Fox News. That's coming up next. Bob Klitsky and his program at 4 o'clock this afternoon, so you'll be listening for that as well, right here on 93.3 The Point. Next station and street.
Charred remains in the Golden State. I'm Paul Stevens, Fox News. 3 massive wildfires, including the Camp Fire, raging on in California, leaving at least 23 people dead.
We just took a drive through one of the hardest hit neighborhoods here in Paradise, where it looks like a bomb went off. 4 days later, some homes are still smoldering. Streets are littered with melted cars and downed power lines, and the sky is thick with smoke. In fact, poor air quality is stretching all the way down to San Francisco, more than 170 miles away. By one estimate, this fire burned nearly an acre per second, incinerating more than 6,000 homes, making the Camp Fire the most destructive in California history. For many in this tight-knit community of families and retirees, the enormity of the loss is hard to process.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in Paradise, California. Recounts now underway in Florida for 3 elections, U.S. Senate, Governor, and Ag Commissioner. Florida Democratic Party Attorney Mitchell Berger on the recount process.
My Republican colleague walked in. We ran the test ballots. We both agreed everyone is working hard. We both agreed there is no fraud going on.
All those recount numbers due by Thursday. Meantime, Arizona's U.S. Senate race still in doubt.
There are around 360,000 ballots that still need to be counted in Arizona's Senate race. Democrat Kyrsten Sinema is leading Republican Martha McSally by just about 20,000 votes. On Friday, Republicans and Democrats reached an agreement in court that gives all of the state's 15 counties until Wednesday to address problems with ballots and submit their totals.
Fox's Garrett Teddy. President Trump observing the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I earlier today at a ceremony in Paris, and with remarks later at a nearby U.S. cemetery. French President Emmanuel Macron at the Paris event denouncing nationalism. This is Fox News.
Looking for opinion done right? Then go to FoxNation.com and pre-order right now. Fox Nation is the new streaming subscription service that will have exclusive daily shows, incredible documentaries, and must-see on-demand programming. That's the perfect complement for every Fox fan. Plus, go to FoxNation.com, pre-order now, and get one-of-a-kind exclusive merchandise. Available now, but for a limited time only. Don't miss your chance to become a founding member. Go to FoxNation.com and pre-order right now.
Chris Wallace on Fox News Channel.
The animating question for me is always, what's going to happen next? If people sense that you're not pushing an agenda, you're not pulling your punches, they're going to rely on you. It's a commitment to the truth. One of the advantages, I think, of having been in this business so long, you're able to detect what is real, what is important, and what's just political noise.
Chris Wallace on Fox News Channel. Real news, real honest opinion.
Questions abound regarding new leadership at the Justice Department and the ongoing special counsel investigation into Russian election meddling.
Critics of the White House say installing Matthew Whitaker